Game number 1, everybody! It is the winner bracket final of the HeroesHype Premier Series playoffs. And that means it is a best of 5, as I told you. All of the matches are best of 3 series, except for the winner bracket final, the loser bracket final, and the grand final. Towers of Doom is our first map, as we have Team Cheese going up against Granit Gaming. And for everybody that didn't catch the previous series, Team Cheese is the former Wind and Rain. They had a deal with the organization Wind and Rain for the duration of Division S. As Division S is obviously over, they went back to their old team name. And guys, they have been stepping it up ever since the Division S playoffs. It's honestly crazy. In the last round, they actually took down Washed Up, and with ease at that. It was pretty, well, maybe not ease, but it was pretty incredible how they were able to just like shut Washed Up down in so many of these instances, considering that Washed Up has been the team that's been dominating for the last 3 weeks in European Heroes of the Storm. So Team Cheese absolutely murdering it. They're starting with the bans against Tai, leaving Tracer open though on Towers of Doom. And Tracer is obviously a hero that we've seen Make play a lot. So there's a chance that Make now goes into Tracer, and therefore we could see Granit Gaming ban that hero out. So Zeratul gets banned against Tai, same for Vala. We have Chen eliminated, since Chen is just top tier after the last 2 patch cycles, where we've seen Chen buffed all the time. There's the Malfurion ban, a little bit of a soft ban already against it. And Berghult right away with Tyrael. Right out of the gate comes in with Tyrael, whereas we are seeing for Granit Gaming, maybe the ETC opening again for the top lane, can then later on go into the stage dive. Obviously, they could still decide to go into Tracer if they want to, because Tyrael on the other side, that shield on Tracer is another reason why you might pick that hero. So they have to really be cautious about how they approach the draft right now, if they want to pick that or not. Normally, we're seeing a Tyrande for them as well. And that's exactly what's happening here. ETC for the top lane, potentially as the main tank, and Tyrande together with this power slide into a stun. And guys, we're off to a good start. This should be actually pretty awesome series here. Team Cheese, aka Wind and Rain, they have been killing it in the last few weeks. In the last 2 weeks, they've really stepped it up. In the Division S playoffs, they were not quite on a level yet where they could... I mean, they contested the big names, like Washed Up and Granit Gaming, but they weren't able to surpass them. Now, on the other hand, in this tournament, they've definitely stepped it up another notch and now have been able to take down Washed Up. And the question here is, can they take down Granit Gaming as well? And they have a Tracer. I said it earlier. With Tyrael, Tracer becomes more of an option because of the shields, and they have Abathur with it now too. So all of a sudden, Granit Gaming is just sitting there like, okay, we might be up against a pretty tough lineup there, because it's not only Mako and Tracer, you have an Abathur on top with that, and especially Tyrande is already sitting there as like, oh my god, why me? Yeah, Henning is gonna have a tough time on the hero, and that's definitely true. So Rhaegar gets banned out. With that, we're having 3 supports eliminated, so the options for Team Cheese are getting slowly diminished. With Abathur, you could still go Kharazim, to be honest. That's the support there. Tracer is already a nuisance. Kharazim can be pretty annoying with it as well. Diablo gets banned out. Obviously, Team Cheese is quite well aware that we're having ETC oftentimes in an off-tank position, played by Fury, and Lauber then with another tank. So they're taking a main tank away that would be devastating against that setup. And Tracer can get one-shot still by Diablo after level 16 in close quarter fights when he gets the double stun through and the overpower release. And there is Zarya together with Garrosh. So we're probably gonna see the speed barrier again. And ETC on the offlane. Tai, what is he gonna play? I mean, with this setup, you would normally think, okay, we could see an auto attacker here, someone that just tries to also survive through Zarya's shield. Tai could still go into a mage setup, I would assume, but then he has to circle around the cooldowns. Against Tracer, normally it's more so auto attacks that you're looking at. Lulcio is in, and Malthael. Are we gonna see Hammer? Is it gonna be Hammer time? Lucio in this setup can actually be quite beneficial if you're trying to run circles around your opponent here and just speed it up a little bit. With Abathur, it's also obviously something that can really help, because they have, so to say, 1.5, 2 supports, and it's Phoenix over Hammer. Tai going into Phoenix. Granit Gaming against Team Cheese, the best of 5 series here at the winner bracket final of the HeroesHype Premier Series playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. First map, Towers of Doom. Game number 1, everybody, and on the left side, Team Cheese, the former Wind and Rain with Backhold on Tyrael, Galnagulna on Lulcio. We have Muck on Tracer and Max Payne on Marthael with Skog on Abathur. Slugging it out here. Whereas on the right side of the map, Granit Gaming with Henning on Tyrande. Ty on Phoenix. Could have honestly also specced into Greymane here. A super popular hero these days, and Ty played a lot of Greymane. So it's actually interesting that he went into Phoenix instead. Svamgrotta on Zarya. We have Lauba on Garrosh, and Fury is playing ETC on the side lane in the first game of this series. Once again, the focus onto the pressurized clans here with the Symbiote, so it's all about Tracer and helping her out. On a pale horse for the movement speed, Malthael will be the one to rotate between the top and the mid lane. And on the other hand, feel the heat for Svamgrotta. And he's gonna make Maka feel the heat here whenever he can. Has already the control through the CC spells as ETC slid in. Was trying to set the kill up. Malthael wasn't even with the team. And Maka is actually eating a lot of damage here. Needs to be a bit cautious, but is able to get out since Galnagulna just boops Garrosh away. Nicely done by him. But you can already tell that with all this aggression, especially around Zarya and the double support, we could see an attempt of Granit Gaming to exploit the fact that in the early game, Abathur doesn't really have as much map control as a normal hero would have. So once that we have the heroic ability and the copy is available, it's a bit of a different story. But right now, the matter at hand is, or the problem is still that you have to somehow defend with Abathur not really contributing too much here. If Maka can with the Symbiote get a kill, that's another matter. But, oh, Galnagulna barely survives. Maka is already low. It's a 3 versus 2 at the bot lane, and they're pressuring this hard. And that is exactly the way they should. Backhold is coming now down, rocking the money pig as he does. He's a good boy. And, well, they're trying to obviously make sure that they're not losing out too much. But yeah, Team Cheese, they've been doing incredibly well recently, so I want to see what they can pull off there. The problem for them is that Max Payne at the top lane is now getting attacked too. Obviously there's some Abathur support to be called for. Fury is already realizing that he might have a problem here. Slides away. Ty is also getting wrecked, and the power of Abathur is becoming clear here as both of the heroes are really low on HP and will have to back off for the time being after they dared to attack the aspect of hatred. Or the aspect of death. No Mephisto in this game. We might see Mephisto in this series though, since Maka is obviously Mephisto player number 1 in Europe. Oftentimes gets the hero banned out against him on maps like Infernal Shrines and others. Now we're having the camp at the bottom already taken. Svamgrotta comes in and has the speed barrier by now, which allows Lauba to move in and try and throw a couple of targets over. Needle Spine on level 4, and there's the kill! Lucio comes in with a final hit, and Zarya is down. Abathur helping out, and well, we have Needle Spine now over Adrenal Overlord, which we could potentially see here. And that's the first kill for Team Cheese. Guys, honestly, I've been saying this previously, and I say that again. Team Cheese all of a sudden has a chance to actually make it into the grand final and maybe even claim victory in this tournament. It's not going to be easy for them to take down Granit Gaming and potentially also face off against Washed Up later on, which could definitely happen. That rematch is a possibility, but it is possible. Might not be easy for them, but it's definitely something that they might be capable of now, because they've been absolutely improving day to day. Tyrande is dead, so that's the second kill at the bot lane, but we're still seeing the fight over the altar here. And things are actually looking pretty solid for Team Cheese. We're having 2 altars being fought over. The one at the bot lane gets now channeled by Backhold, and there's a chance that he's going to finish this one off. At the top, the fight is also still there. They're trying to deny Fury access to the altar as well. Still a bit of zone out for Maka as he's going for Zarya again. He's not the only one. Another 4 shots fired, and now we have 40 points against 32. And that top right altar is still in play. They delayed it. And that delay means that Abathur is going to be ready later. Ooh, that's the kill against Lucio. Alright, Granit Gaming is not a pushover team. You can push them to an extent, but yeah, in this case, they immediately took that too. So, what was the reason to actually try and go for that altar? Do they realistically have a chance to channel that? Not really. If they get a couple of kills, then they would have obviously tried, but they don't really have a realistic chance for this. But as long as Abathar is not level 10, you are trying to delay this for as long as you can, so that the second objective phase spawns later. Because if it spawns later, then the chances are that you will have level 10 available, and then you can go into proper team fights in a fight 5 versus 5, because you have the Abathar copy ready. So that's why they were trying to delay this a little bit longer. And to be fair, they actually delayed it for a quite reasonable time frame. Marke has to be careful as ETC comes in. Sorry, Garrosh, and just says hi. And, well, talking about Marke and being careful, Marke is nearly getting wrecked here. The shield comes in, though, as Tyrael is attempting to help him out. There's the rest of the setup. Lauber is a bit low, but the rest of the team is now coming in too. Speed barriers, of course, still a thing. Gulnar with a boop once again. And they're all getting out. And Malthael is all alone at the top lane in the meantime and has taken the pumpkins. They're seeing the one at the bot lane stolen away, but those at the top have now made sure that the wall is falling. And, right, honestly, it's an interesting game already. 2 kills against 1. They go for Backhood, and actually they might get the kill. And they do. They get the kill. Trade value. Oh, yes! He just exploded straight onto Tyrande, and Marke then got the final hit in right between the eyes, baby. The cavalry is finally here, and he gets another. No, does he get? Marke nearly taking Tai down, but Tai warping out, and then Tracer falls. What an awesome start into the best of 5 here already. Love it. 36 against 32 points, level 7 talents now for both teams, and that owl is a little bit too late. Yeah, gotta tell Hedwig to fly a little bit faster. With that now, we have 32 points against 28. Mule, by the way, taken on level 7 for Abathar now. Last time we saw Abathar on this map, actually went away from Mule as an option. Echo Paddle also for added wave clear for ETC at the top lane, since Fury obviously has to play the off lane now. Will go into stage dive as well. And it's actually still interesting to me that they went into Mule in the first place. I really feel that on other maps, especially when you have a core, Mule is a lot stronger. On this map, you don't have as many structures to really repair available to you. So it's a bit weird that they actually went into the talent. Doesn't mean that it can't give you value, but I would say that this is one of the few maps where Mule definitely has limited usefulness. Level 10 abilities are in for both sides now. Stage dive as expected has been chosen. We have also the taunt. The net against Trace is a big one, and it misses. Yeah, good throw. Stun missing though, and the taunt misses Marke as well, and therefore Marke can rewind out. But that was a pixel perfect escape. If he just is 1 frame slower, he is dead. Talking about dead, guess who's dead? It's Malthael! But the counter kill as Marke jumps in and says, "You are gonna die too." It's starting to become a bit of a battle of the DPS. We have Tracer against Phoenix, Marke against Tracer, and both of them are getting heavily focused in these fights. Ever since HGC went down and we went into Division S, ever since we've seen the Nexus game, guys, the Nations Cup, we've had a huge spotlight on Tai. He did so well in all of these tournaments, and especially when he joined Granit Gaming, he improved a lot. Now he goes up against one of the formerly best players that we had in HGC on the damage. Not necessarily part of one of the best teams there, at least towards the end, but yeah, he always had a huge impact, and they are deking it out now. Once again, Malthael down. That's not the only one. There's the salvo and the kill. Nice salvo from Tai, connecting with 4. They get the kill against Tyrael. And they're looking to burn the copy down of Abathar as well, as we're still seeing a Skok around here. Channel is about to happen, 32 against 28 at this point. But yeah, nicely done. And another camp that they can steal now. They still haven't taken that altar, by the way. So that altar is still up for grabs. Marke able to dodge out on the slide as Fury was trying to anticipate his pathing. Marke is in trouble, and Marke is down. Nicely done by Tai. Nice anticipated, goes straight in, the rewind has no effect there, and now they get the value at the bottom of the map as they're moving into the bell tower. Granit Gaming, they definitely looked at those games that Team Cheese played against Washed Up. Believe me, they analyzed those and said like, yeah, you're not gonna get the same setup against us, it's not happening. 4 kills against 7 now as Granit Gaming is starting to establish dominance at the bottom of the map. Nice escape at Backhood, again, always clutch. Topside gets still pressured by Malthael as ETC is trying to stop him with the pumpkins now moving in. 13 is going to be a little bit quicker for Granit Gaming, but seriously, it is incredibly close on the experience scale. There's not a lot that you can currently pull off with this setup. So now we're having the 13 talents in, at least for one team. The red team now having access to the additional talent. Owl gets sent out again. Tai playing it really safe here against Make. Had already tapped the fountain previously. 13, still no additional bell towers converted, and no altars announced either. But it's still the defense of the bot lane that the main focus is on. And there's the throw straight onto Berkult, and he escapes again. But Lauber even willing to move into the death zone here just to get the connect and get those hits in. And there we go, having an attempt from Make to steal the camp away. Abathur making it possible. Tracer is on the case, and they might be able to get the spawn. There's nobody around. We actually have Tai moving in. Tyrael goes down on the left side, and this camp gets stolen away. Steals the camp away, but the bell tower is still converted, and now we have a double altar about to spawn, and that is pretty fantastic for the red teams. This Tyrael is down for another 17 seconds. Camp is also going to be taken down without getting any value. Well, they get a little bit of value. One gets pushed in here. Zarya is already getting the bottom. Nice stun connect. Khaldor in trouble, and Lucio uses the sound barrier and just zips out of harm's way. Or does he? Lucio is in a bit of trouble there. Tai warps in, tries and get the kill, but Lucio is just a little bit too swift for him here. Can't stop, one stop. Another 5 shots connected, and that's 10 down in total. 18 to 28 now. Another attempt at a lockdown. Not quite working out here. But Malthael is sitting topside. He's saying, alright boys, I'm gonna get us at least some value at the top of the map. I'm gonna make that play. Talking about making plays, Tyrael is dead again. Looks for the trade value. Henning goes down to the combo with the Tyrael trade explosion, and Make delivering the ult. Drops the support on the side of Granit Gaming. Malthael, the rotations, they are just keep coming the entire time. Honestly, Khaldor needs to be really cautious now. But is still alive here. Looking at the experience, as expected, Malthael is the top experience gainer in the game now. Copy on Abathur is going down. Okay, no kill, no additional kill. At least not yet. But Make still has 2 targets here. And if he gets, honestly, if he gets an ult up, then he can get the kill there for sure. Khaldor and Make together with Abathur are just zipping around the bot lane, being a pain in the ass here. And it's really starting to become a little bit tricky. Khaldor gets out again. That Lucio play here. And now Lauber is going to die, isn't he? No! He actually survives, or does he? They're trying to chase him. The problem is that there's a lot more action happening, and this time they get the turnaround and get Tracer, and that's the kill. What a setup. What a great setup here. Garrosh falls, but they still get the counter kill. There's the attempt to drop Zarya, and she finally falls, and that's the first stack that we're seeing from Malthael. Tai survives after he took Tracer down. Khaldor, oh, what did you do, dude? Oh, nearly falls here. Was hoping to move in with Abathur to get the kill, but they're at least going for the altars now. They're channeling the bottom. The slug is already up at the top. Is there an interrupt from Tyrande? 3 shots fired. Interrupt is there. Stage dive and the kill. Can't be that greedy. 16 ready for both teams now. Another 5 shots fired already as the fight is happening on the left side. Both teams are missing a hero right now, and Zarya is already back on the map. Abathur is dead for another 28. Can they interrupt Make? I don't really think so. Make goes in and gets the 3 points connected. 13 against 22. Still the bell tower control in favor of Team Granit Gaming. 45,000 damage from Phoenix. Tai has done a great job on the hero. Died once so far. Tracer has died 3 times, but has now 50,000 damage nearly. So nice job by Make. Camps are taken again. Lucio is just doing his thing here. And sitting on 25,000 damage, which is actually pretty respectable. As much as Lucio is usually a meme, I gotta give some credit here to Khaldor. He's been playing a pretty fantastic Lucio and has actually done a whole lot of work. Great performance by him here. So really, really well done. They're scoring another set through, and 2 more points get connected. The shots are fired, and that puts them down to 11. 11 against 25. They're doubling their points on the core right now. Great setup here from both teams, but Granit Gaming is a bit more successful thus far. Make is trying to make the plays the entire time with the help of Abathar, and so does Galnigulnar, but it's starting to become more difficult for them now. 17 against 17, 7 kills against 11, and finally Malthael has been able to convert the top bell tower. So it's again 4 versus 4, but the bot lane control is important for a reason. We saw it just a second ago. You have 2 pumpkin camps that you can control, and that means that you can escort those pumpkins into the core, which is exactly what they did. Single altar spawning in 20 seconds, so they should be able to actually get this one. It's at least an advantageous situation for the team that controls the bot lane, which is Granit Gaming. But that bell tower is slowly starting to fall, and honestly, it will be whittled down eventually, and once that's the case, we're going to have the map advantage, or the bell tower advantage, for Team Cheese. Down at the bottom of the map, no channel yet. Some of the heroes are starting to finally make the rotation in, but that bell tower is going to fall eventually. Tyrande now on the channel. Oh my god, Trace has that again. Great setup. The Sanctification comes into late. We have the stun once more from Lauba, and then the immediate taunt. Yeah, Fury nearly falling here, but Zarya's shields are obviously doing so much with these setups that we're seeing right now. And that's now 7 points on the core. Another 4 shots were fired after the altar got channeled at the bottom of the map. But look at the experience. Despite the fact that Team Cheese is so far behind when it comes to the objective, they are a level ahead in experience. And this is a map where you can have incredible comeback potential, especially when you have a talent advantage on level 20 over your opponent. So Malthael has been doing a fantastic job. Max Payne has not really been committed to a lot of these fights. He's the one who just moved from lane to make sure that they get the experience. And just look at the difference between him and ETC. 19,000 to 13,000 experience soaked. Galnigulnar still on the run. Oh, the Juke Master able to completely fake Fury out here, and he survives. Obviously, what helps him too is the level 16 talent that we have from Abathar, getting with the adrenaline boost, additional movement speed, so it's really tough to catch him. But there's the level 20. And they have reclaimed the bottom bell tower, so now we have a better position for Team Cheese. Not only in bell towers, they are now also ahead in experience. Guys, this is the time for a comeback. They have still 7 points on the core against the 22, so this is starting to become nasty. And, well, no one can stop. Death has been taken. Get stuffed. There's also the Holy Arena. This is the time frame where Team Cheese can really put in the work. This is the time when they can do a lot here, because for an entire level, they will have a Storm Talent advantage. And they still have the Bell Tower advantage. If they take both of these altars, it's 10 points off the opponent's score. And then with one fell swoop, they would have pushed them down to 12 points. And they get both of them. Easily. There we go, and boom! 7 against 12. Looks a little bit closer than it just did 10 seconds ago, doesn't it? So all of a sudden we're talking comeback. Oh, yeah. Now it becomes spicy. Granit Gaming sitting there and for the first time probably realizing, guys, this might still backfire. This might still backfire hard. We have 56,000 damage now for Phoenix, but 64,000 for Tracer. Zarya herself with nearly 40,000. Thanks to Swampgrotta's plays here and in the Feel the Heat. And look at the mid lane. They got another one. 6 against 2. Guys, they are massively ahead on the macro level. Level 20 is still not there here, but this is getting insane. And keep in mind, this is game 1. This is game 1 of the best of 5 series here at the winner bracket final. And there's finally level 20. Finally, we have the Storm Talents for both teams with the Unconquered Spirit, with the Titanic Might, the Bolt of the Storm. But they lost the entire control of the map. There's one single bell tower that they still hold. One bell tower, that's all that they really hold on to. And it could be taken away from them in a flash. Lose one team fight right now and you are doomed, and they know that as well. And it's about the team fight, and it's a single altar at this point. One altar on the map. Fury is trying to take at least some of the pumpkins down here. And he has to. He has obviously stage dive. He has the global. He can jump in. But the boss is now taken, and that means another 4 shots fired. 7 against 8. We're pretty much dead even on the core points. Yep, we are actually. 1 pumpkin makes it through. And now we'll talk... Hey, 2 actually. 7 against 6 right now. So in every single aspect, Team Cheese is now ahead. They are ahead in everything. There's the channel attempt from Fury, but Max Payne is already sitting there. They're trying to go for him. The taunt is in. Malthael! And he goes down. Malthael is dead. And that is a disaster now for Team Cheese. The sound barrier already used. And here comes the aggression as they're starting to move in. They're trying to channel. Ty wants it, but that's 2 points. That's 2 points. That doesn't mean anything to Team Cheese. It's 6 against 5 now. I mean, congratulations. You have just taken a lead, but it's a single point. You still are massively behind on the bell towers, and unless they can reclaim some, at least at the bot lane, that situation is not going to change anytime soon. So that's a huge problem now. But they get at least the pumpkin camp, and they can maybe make the play for the bottom bell tower. It's kind of low. Malthael is still not there. If they 5-man it, that's definitely a chance, but it gets caught at the top already. First one is moving through, gets booped, but there's the immediate double connect, and now this one could fall. And ETC has rotated again as well. He's in the mid lane. He's trying to take this down as quickly as he can, so there's definitely potential for Granit Gaming right now. They're making the play. Yeah, the taunt! The salvo, ETC with a slide, and Tracer is dead. Holy Arena, Sanctification, it doesn't matter. Tracer is down just as Malthael comes back. A staggered death, and that is definitely a big problem for Team Cheese now. They're starting to lose the advantage. They're still holding on to it for a little bit longer. But now we're going to have Granit Gaming reclaiming the battle. Yeah, congrats. Good luck with the mule. Good luck with that. I mean, again, that's not happening. That mule is not going to do anything, and Max Payne is now on the run. The 16 on Abathur gives him a little bit of a speed bonus, but he needs to get out of there quickly. He needs to get out of there real quickly, which is exactly what he does. And now we're talking about a double altar. And guys, you know what that means. We're having 5 points against 6, which means that both teams could still go for an exchange. But instead, we're having Granit Gaming going for the aggression. It's a 5 versus 4 after all for them, isn't it? Boss is down for another 2 minutes and 20 seconds, so that definitely helps. What a game! What a game! There's the taunt, they want the kill, the sound barrier, and Bergholt survives. But in the backline, Max Payne is experiencing Max Payne, and all his passion can't help him here. He's down, but as you know, no one can stop death. So they're coming back into it. Bergholt goes down though. Again the play from Granit. And they're looking to win the game here. Can they? Mark it low, and Ty wants the kill. And he gets the salvo connected. Marker goes down with the last hit. And Malthael falls too. Granit has pulled it off, haven't they? They can go for the double channel now and claim victory in game number 1. It is insane that they recovered here. Honestly, that is nuts. How is it possible that they actually recovered in this game? What a sick opening into this one. ETC getting kicked over. And that is going to be the end of game number 1. The shots come in, and the best of 5 series has opened up with a bang as Granit Gaming takes the lead against Team Cheese on Towers of Doom. Cursed Hollow, ladies! We are heading into game number 2. And Team Cheese is looking good. They're really looking strong here. I still have a little bit of trouble wrapping my head around of how good they're actually playing. It's a bit insane. I shouldn't be surprised anymore. I honestly shouldn't be. But I still am. Because I still look at this tournament and I think about the history of the last month, the last 2 months, and then this entire year. And if I was taught one thing, then it's the washed up, crushes their competition, and if any team is able to take them down, it's Granit Gaming. And we're seeing nothing of this. It's Team Cheese that comes out and just said, washed up who? XHG what? And they're just having zero respect here. They're coming out with good combos, with good drafts. Marcus playing out of his mind. It's Galnegul now with great players on the support. Bergholt is absolutely killing it. It's honestly kind of crazy and scary how well these guys are playing. And I would really be interested who Lauber and his boys from Granit Gaming want to play. I honestly do. They're obviously watching this too. And they already played Team Cheese in the winner bracket final and barely won. And you could make the argument that they should have lost it. And obviously the winner of this series heads now into the grand final to face off against them again. And I really want to know what Granit Gaming is thinking about this, because Granit Gaming is probably sitting there saying like, huh, who do we actually want to play here? Who do we think is the easier opponent? And I'm not so sure anymore that they are opting for Team Cheese if they had the choice here. So either way, this is a best of 5. This series is by no means over. Team Cheese had a good start into the series, but let's not call the series just yet. Washed Up has come back from more severe positions. We have them starting things off with Malfurion on Cursed Hollow. Okay, there comes Gul'dan, and it's Hammer time! Yep, Hammer was banned out against Hazu very, very often. But in this case, it wasn't happening, so now they go for Hammer. And we have on the other side, we have ETC and Garrosh. It's a bit of an opening that you could see from Granit Gaming, so the flexible ETC on the off lane that can go in with the stage dive provides the additional CC, which is pretty good for them too. But okay, so great start into the draft for Team Cheese, but we have Hammer time on the other side, so that has to be accounted for too. There's no tank yet. I would have more expected, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, with Tyrael banned out, I could have seen Diablo getting picked or Johanna to try and peel a little more aggressively. I don't really know if a Nubarak would have been a pick that would have scared me here. But then again, Cocoon is of course a little bit of a problem, or can be. But what gets taken out in terms of damage? The Wolf maybe? Greymane ban? Ah, Mephisto again. So even on Cursed Hollow, they are a bit scared of Mephisto with Sergeant Hammer here in play. So let's see what we're having in terms of damage at this point. Team Cheese. Greymane would be a great pick for the map regardless. If they look for damage and especially poke, I mean, Li Ming would still be good against the Sergeant as well, obviously also with the Wave of Force. Anduin and Genji! Okay! Anduin is there. And here we go. A lot of the comments on YouTube these days are having a little bit of fit of our "What has Anduin ever done to Khaldor? Is Khaldor secretly gay? That he's trying to distract from the fact that he's secretly in love with Anduin?" Some comment like that was actually posted. It was really interesting. Freud says hi, by the way, so a little bit of amateur psychology. Ah, Melganis and Blaze! Ooh, I'm a fan. But yeah, I can definitely tell the Anduin story again. The Nick Carter of Heroes of the Storm. I kind of feel pressured into shitting on him now, because I think it's expected. It's a little bit like with Brightwing, but it's not quite as bad. Because honestly, the plays that you can make with Anduin, I actually like him as a hero in the game a lot. I actually think he is pretty cool with that. And yeah, there's Greymane. Greymane is in play as well. Game number 2, everybody. Can Team Cheese get the 2-0 lead, or is Washed Up going to take the win on Cursed Hollow? Let's jump into the game and find out. Game on, everybody! Galdegulna in game number 2 for Team Cheese on Anduin, Maka on Genji, we have Skog on Greymane, Max Passion on ETC, and Backhold on Garrosh. And on the right side, Sergeant Hammer played for Washed Up by Hazops, Min on Gul'dan, Nick on Malganis, Chris on Blaze, and Banana H on Malfurion. Alright, so why do I hate Anduin so much? It's actually pretty easy. I mean, the main reason is that, when was it, 2018? I think it was 2017. So at the end of 2017, we were in China for an event, and that lasted 2 weeks. And it seemed like for the event, they had one trailer that they played in every single break. And that was the World of Warcraft trailer, with the big battle with Sylvanas and Anduin playing a key role in it. And the problem that I have with that thing is that that little crybaby was just sitting there the entire time with his little sword. It was just crying into the camera over and over and over again every day, "For the Alliance, I want my mommy." And if you watch that thing in the course of 2 weeks, like 100 times, honestly, I just started to hate that little fucker. And that's pretty much where my Anduin hate comes from. The character itself, I have no problem with. I honestly think that Anduin is a pretty awesome hero that can make insane saves happen, and that playing against Anduin can be really annoying, especially if you are banking all your hopes on a good CC chain. But yeah, these days, with everybody just chipping in on how much I hate Anduin, even though I really don't, it kind of feels like I have to at least hate on him a little bit, or I'm disappointing people here. So it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. But yeah, Max Passion gets maximum lockdown and goes down. Yep, gets moonfired. The cow got her ass moonfired into the ground, and Macke is also getting pretty much burned down by Sergeant Hammer. Yep, it's hammer time, baby. There's a reason why the hero is banned out against HeroesHype so often. Don't give the Germans the tanks. It's not a good idea. If they have tanks, they are gonna destroy everything. And that's exactly what HeroesHype is doing. The Germans once again on the move, and well, currently they're starting to take down the bot lane. So HeroesHype is starting to do his thing here. Up towards the top side, there's an attempt to make a bit of a counterplay with the Siege Giants, but as you can imagine, this is not really looking too solid. Max Passion comes in, gets immediately pushed back, and this entire wall is already down. Yeah, it's a bit tough, seriously. I mean, we're only looking at level 4, and we have a kill already for washed up, and we also see the bot lane going down slowly and steadily. So the first game was definitely not a perfect play for team in red by any means. But they're trying to turn that around quickly in game number 2 with a lot of aggression around Sergeant Hammer. And this could be one of those typical plays where we see the Sergeant ignored in game number 2 in the draft, and from there on out just banned out pretty much every single game. So yeah, either way. At this point we're having camps actually taken to the bruiser camp, as we claimed, by the red team, as they're getting more and more pressure onto the map. And it's time for the bottom also to be set up into motion, since the tributes are now spawning. Oftentimes when the tribute is spawning bot side, you actually see the blue team taking their Siege Giant camps late, so that they have the top lane pressure while the objective is up, and instead focusing on their bruiser camp previously. Wasn't quite the case here. Nice connect actually from Chris with the jet propulsion as he's trying to stop that. And at the bottom of the map, Hammer already set up in that little cave there. So far so good. We're also having again the setup against Mal'Ganis, and Nick needs to be careful here, but actually sets it up for Chris, who comes in with the jet propulsion. The oil spill is there. Greenpeace would not be amused, neither would the AOC. I mean, that is not the Green New Deal right there. Big Oil is once again coming in swinging as Blaze takes down Anduin, but they still lose out. Well, they also get the tribute here. So Team Cheese is losing out on the first objective. And things are actually looking pretty good for Washed Up. Totally different game. First tribute 1, 2 kills against 0, early level 7, nearly the bot lane taken down. I mean, damn son. This is getting nasty. We're already having Macke rotating up to the top lane to at least get a little bit of experience for them. They need the level 7 talent at least if they want to make a difference here. But it starts to become a bit problematic. I mean, it doesn't really seem like they have a tool against Hammer. Now, what I could definitely see coming here is stage dive for ETC. That might become a little bit of a problem for HeroesHype. I don't really think that it's going to be too much of an issue. I mean, stage dive is obviously something that you have to deal with when it comes into play, but HeroesHype should be able to play around it. The bigger problem is really that we're just having this aggressive setup by HeroesHype, and now the hovering siege mode is going to enhance that even more. So yeah, bot lane. That's why we're currently having Mena with the aggression against the Siege Giants. So they're gonna get some... This is exactly the time that we'll be talking about. This is what I talked about for the blue team earlier with objective number 1. Mena takes this as the perfect time, just as the tribute spawns topside, maybe even a little bit late. Could have taken earlier. But the longer this lasts, the more they could have gotten out of it. But as it stands, they're actually letting it go, which I find a little bit sad, because that could have been so much more valuable for them. But they still have the pressure. They are still applying pressure right here. HeroesHype pushing in, trying to take that one down, and yeah, things are looking good. Entire level lead that we already see for Washed Up. And their hammers, yeah, the tanks are coming. Their hammer is rolling, and Backholt misses the stun as well. There's a slide, but there's no mosh pit available. For a second it looked like he might go for that one, but not quite. So once again, throw over, Mena in a bit of trouble, and Mena, oh, he nearly survived. But Anduin is the one who takes him down. Gul'dan. Gul'dan gets destroyed in the teamfight in the middle, but the level 10 ability will still be quicker for Washed Up. So let's see. What else do we have? Bottom of the map. Here comes the Siege Giant value. ETC is the one dealing with it, and they should get level 10 soonish. But I feel with the lead that we're having for Team Cheese, for Washed Up, that should be a secured second tribute, regardless of what else is happening. So the next thing that we have to watch out for, yeah, exactly, the bosses. Thank you very much. So Team Cheese is highlighting that immediately, just as I want to talk about it. The interesting part is now, though, that they are going to be taken out here. In comes the Horrify, and goodbye Anduin, and that's an easy boss. I think they were expecting Washed Up to rotate towards the top and take the boss there. As you can tell, that hasn't happened. ETC now with the stage dive. Oh, really? They're going for it. And they're losing Genji. They're going to lose a lot more here. I mean, granted, we don't have Blaze here yet, but Blaze is going to be here soon. But the camp is still taken. They still go for the boss. Bakul comes in and just says, get the fuck out of here. And they grab the boss despite the fact that Genji has fallen. Anduin wasn't there either. So it's obviously additional kills, 2 additional kills for Washed Up. But they lost the boss and haven't gotten their boss at the top. That was actually pretty cool. Berkult again on Cursed Hollow with a Garrosh plays, and he just comes in. Yeah, like, seriously, you could really tell how tired Berkult was of all of this. He was just like, guys, seriously, I gave you one job. I gave you one job. All that you had to do was to get the boss. You can't even do that. Do I have to do everything by myself? Like, he literally just walked in, threw them out, took the boss, and walked away. That's all that Bakul did. Total boss mode for him. I mean, obviously, with Chris being a bit late to the rotation since he was still pushing out lanes, we have ETC and Garrosh. Both have really good zone control, so it was a bit more tricky for Washed Up to get that boss as it might have seemed at first glance, but it still looked really funny the way that it happened. 4 kills against 1 on the other hand. The attacks are still keeping coming, and oh, Max Passion is a little bit far out here. Now they're trying to get the curse now. If Washed Up channels this one through, that's it. Here comes the attack again. Berkult is low. There's the stage dive, but Garrosh is already dead. The light bomb attack with Genji jumping into the back line, not really giving them the value. Here's the Horrify, and Genji gets away. Nah, not happening. Genji doesn't get away. Greymane got killed, and that's 3 kills now. That's a 4th already down. And it's time for the curse as Mane completes the channel. There we have it. Chris moving to the top lane. The 13 talent is now in the hands of the red team as well. 7 kills against 1. And boys, I think we're in for another fantastic series between these two teams. The winner bracket first round match was an absolute blast. It was a delight. It was a fantastic series. And have you checked it out yet? You definitely need to do that. But it seems like this best of 5 that we have in the loser bracket final is going to be another highlight between the two. 5-man push through the middle. Top 4 is already about to be destroyed, but they want more with this. They want the keep. And they have a good chance of getting the keep. 2-level lead. Talent advantage. What more can you ask for? They're already keeping Max Passion at bay here, and they're slowly poking. Poke it down, baby. Hazorp sitting on the tank here, one shot after another. And it seems like they're going to get this one quite easily. Bakkult obviously attempting to make a connection here, but not that easy for him. Yeah, if you're a dirty orc and you smell, then making a connection is not really the easiest thing in your life. There's the Horrifying, another one, and that connected, and that's not the only thing that connected. Damn, son, Hazu going in there. Light bomb play by Genji, and Make, what? Make actually survives. ETC gets, no, he dies to the damage over time from Gul'dan. And now we're having Garrosh eliminated too, and all of a sudden it's not only the keep that falls, but it's the core that gets attacked. With only 3 heroes ready for the defense, this could definitely be the end of game number 2. Are they going for it? Well, they're trying to get at least a little bit of... Did you see that? Hazov just sits there, the call is made to retreat, and Hazov's like, I mean, come on, guys, I took the shield down, like, I want to do damage, and I'm like, Hazu, Let's go. Let's go. We're playing the safe. We're not going to lose this game now. We're playing the safe. We want to go to the grand final. And Hazu's sitting there. The core is still on 100%. The shields are gone. He's like, but I can damage it now. And they're like, Hazu, back now. And he's like, okay. And then moves back in to get one auto attack in. Just to drop the core onto 99% because it looks better. And then moves out. Because he wants to have the feeling that he actually accomplished something there. And it's 100% what went through his head there. He might not have talked about it. He might not have told them. But that's exactly what he was thinking. And I can so relate. I can so relate. If he would have kept it at 100% and then moved back and see the shield grow, he would have been like, that's a wasted opportunity. So in this case, they're just going in and saying like, you see guys, we did something. We left a dent there. But obviously they did a lot more after that. They took the boss, and now with the 16 talent, they can push through the top lane and potentially drop another keep. So here comes the attack. Curse is, well, not a threat for either one of the teams as the next tribute is spawning. We have 1-0 on the tribute count, but that boss is a bit of a beast. Early in the game still, I mean, again, we're talking 12 minutes, right? But with that much of a 5-man pushing, yeah, there we go. And there we have it. There's the attack once again against the keep. And this one is going to get wrecked too. ETC sliding towards the top. He's trying to make sure that they're getting at least the tribute. And even that might backfire. Uh-oh! Oh! They get it. He might have to stage dive out of this one. I'm not so sure if running away is going to help him. Does he have the stage dive? Yeah, he does. Is he gonna go for the stage dive? Slide and whoop! And down he goes. Alright, so they go for the boss at the bottom of the map now. And trying to get this done here as well. But there's the rotation. It's a little bit too slow though. Even with the 10% movement speed increase across the board, it's not quite happening. And oh ho ho ho! We have the kill against Gul'dan. I'm a little bit, not Gul'dan, Mal'Ganis. I'm a little bit surprised that he didn't go for his ult, to be honest, though. I mean, he didn't even try. And I think there were more than a few frames where he wasn't stunned out. So that's an interesting setup right now. Because I don't really want to say that this is a potential comeback. I don't really think it is, not with Hammer in play. But it's definitely the start of them trying to pull a comeback off. 2 kills against 9 now. And we've seen some insane comebacks from Team Cheese yesterday. So every time I see a situation like this, I'm starting to get a little bit scared. Yeah, ETC gets interrupted over here, so Max Passion is not going to have an easy time with this. Down at the bottom of the map though, the defense is already in play. Yes, Hazu is shelling away against the boss, and yeah, they might not even get the keep, to be honest with you. With Hazu getting that boss down, pretty much 5% HP as this happened, that is not going to be a big one. So yep, there we have the setup. Catapults on the core on the other hand, and there's 2 catapults by now, a third one already coming in. So this is starting to hurt, and that tribute has still been not been captured. The entire time there was interrupt after interrupt. And guys, the core is starting to fall. The shields are already gone. They're going for Chris. Great bunker. That was a great one. But the shields are falling now. The core is falling for Team Cheese. The catapults are still in, and there's more catapults coming through the mid lane right now. Yep, and there we go. Guys, this could be game. This could definitely be game. This should be game. They're stopping them from the portal. Here comes ETC sliding in. That's 50% right now. And he's trying to prevent the worst. But the rest of the team is fighting to stay alive. And they might be able to escape here. But Berkult is low. And Berkult should fall. Yeah, at least Garrosh is going to go down. It might take a second. But he is definitely dying. So back. Oh, is he? Garrosh finally about to fall. There it is. But the core is also dropping. And that is it. Washed up. Wins game number 2 on Cursed Hollow. And they force the 3rd game on an even footing. 1-1 in the best of 5 series at the loser bracket final. Game 3, Infernal Shrines. Game 3 in the best of 5, and guys, it is an awesome series. Team Cheese against Granit Gaming, and it's been a lot of fun. Game 1 was amazing, Game 2 was awesome, this series is just fantastic. And we get at least 2 more games. That in itself makes me happy already. I would love for this to be a 5-mapper. What a fantastic setup, honestly. Let's see what we're having in terms of draft, because now, of course, you end up in a scenario... Well, first of all, you're getting Mephisto banned out. As I said in one of the previous games, Make excels on Mephisto. He loves to play it on Infernal Shrines and Volskaya Foundry, and they are just not going to deal with that. So they break their pattern in bans, and they ban Mephisto over Chen. Interesting now also, by the way, Granit Gaming has obviously first pick at this point, so their ban pattern is going to change anyways. They ban Malfurion out again, so that there is no Tracer setup. Root control on the shrine is also very strong with this. But now, is Chen going to be banned? And the answer is no. It's Diablo that they're afraid of the most. And I can totally understand this. Infernal Shrines after all. But this keeps a lot of heroes now open that could be taken early on for Granit Gaming. They could go into Chen, which they banned several times now. Tyrael is open for Team Cheese on the other hand, which is a great hero for this map too. Greymane is still up. Guys, there is so much. This draft already, I mean, just through the bans alone that we've seen, is opening up way more opportunities right now. And they go to Randa after all, and now Chen is obviously open and could be taken. Yeah, and gets taken immediately. Are we going to see a Tyrael pick with that this early? Are they really focusing on two frontliners with this? Or are we going to see them with a bit more damage besides that instead? The Chen lock-in was instant, but there's Tyrael. They take it, and oh boy, now we're actually already talking about a pretty interesting game here. Tyrael Chen right at the start. Okay. We have Tyrael and Chen as a setup, and what are the counter picks of this? I don't really think that Granit Gaming wanted to let them get away with this setup. So what are they themselves going to do now? Are we going to see a Zarya setup maybe again? Vala would be an option, and yes, there she is. Vala is taken, and we have Mal'Ganis, which Lauber now has taken several times as the main tank. We've seen this in the division as playoffs. We've seen it also here in this tournament already. And yeah, time to shine. What are we going to get? Bans are coming out next. You could ban Zarya, you could ban Tassadar. If you see Vala, there is a chance that there's a double support. I think Team Cheese is probably currently thinking about banning either one of the two. Instead, we're having ETC taken away. ETC obviously adds the added CC, and they don't want to deal with this. And especially this ETC power slide into Tyrande shenanigans play that we've seen now multiple times from Granit Gaming is something that they're not really happy about. So we could see on the offlane, I mean, Leoric is still an option, has been played by Fury also multiple times. There's more heroes that he could play there. There's a ban against Tracer, first of all, which makes a lot of sense too. I mean, again, you have Tyrael already with the shields, they showed him earlier. I would not be surprised to see Greymane again. Gotta be honest with you, Tyrael is already there, Sanctification on the ground, you have Chen jumping in, Tyrael jumping in, Greymane at their side. That would be a good one. You can poke from outside the shrine as well. They go for Alexstrasza, Dragon Queen, and we have Skog on Gul'dan. But Make still hasn't taken a hero yet. I mean, I guess they could go Genji, which he oftentimes does, but I would still like that Greymane. My question is now, Zarya or Tassadar, or just something completely different. They are the team that even before the changes, before Vala got a hit point buff, played Vala sometimes without a double support. So they can definitely do it. Are they though? Svampgrotta could go Junkrat. He did that in the past a lot on this map. Leo and Zarya. There we go. I like it. I would have expected Zarya or Tassadar to be banned out. That's not the case. But as anticipated, Leo on Fury, or the other way around. And we have Svampgrotta on Zarya again. And with that, we go into the last pick for game number 3. And what's it going to be for Make? Genji, Greymane? One of the Gs? No, something completely different for him now. We already have Gul'dan in. What is Make going to play? Reyna! Time for Jimmy! Okay, auto attacks. Team Cheese against Granit Gaming, ladies and gentlemen. The series is tied, and we are heading into game number 3 of the best of 5. And we are on Infernal Shrines. Gul'dan and Alexstrasza for Team Cheese. The former Wind and Rain with Make on Reyna, Skog and Gul'dan, Berkult on Tyrael, and Max Payne on Chen. Svampgrotta for Granit Gaming on Zarya. We have Fury on Leoric, heading on Tyrande, Tai on Vala, and Lauber on Mal'Ganis. What an amazing series so far. Absolutely fantastic. And guys, if you watch that game on YouTube right now, make sure that you hit that like button. I can't believe that anybody is watching this right now and is saying like, nah, this game is boring. This is a fantastic game. So yeah, if you enjoy the game in the commentary, hit that like button hard and help to make the channel grow. Especially, of course, if you hit that sub button on YouTube and also that notification bell right there. Would really appreciate that. Would help a lot to make the channel also a little bit more popular. Obviously, we're looking at a niche of a niche here with esports, gaming in itself already something. But as we're talking about that, we have our little focus on this little setup here with Feel the Heat on level 1. We had a 5-man against 4, as Chen was already at the top lane. We're seeing now, first of all, the Eye of the Tiger again. And, well, we actually have a bit of a battle down here. 4 versus 4 right now. Tai has to move out as the stacks keep coming in for Skog as he's hitting the Echoed Corruption stacks here. So with this, what else do we have? We have, first of all, again, the Hot Pursuit and Elun's Chosen and Aggression. The setup against Gru... Nah, not happening. Setup against Gul'dan, but it's not quite happening from him here. I like this. Now, Illidan in the last game was a lot of fun to observe here, but we definitely are now having Fat Illidan in the action, all the way up at the top. Similar principle. Chen obviously also pretty good in chasing heroes down and trying to jump after them. Feet first, of course. So Fat Illidan on the move, rotating between the lanes here. And when we're talking about Chen, we're going to see how much of an impact he's going to have around level 10 in particular when he gets the Storm, Earth and Fire. That is going to be the big one. At that point, Tai at the bot lane. A little bit low, has to be careful here. Having again, Berghold also stunned out. Good move with the Corruption here. Gets a few additional stacks in. But just look how aggressive this early game already is. Zarya's in trouble, but so is Gul'dan. Gul'dan might be the first one to fall, and he does. Lauber with Melganis here. And those Fell Claws just moving through the opponent's team the entire time. Creating some space for Tai as well. And this is a perfect setup here for them. So up at the top lane, we're having Max Payne and Fury going up against each other now. Still, we will see Leo with a lot of damage because he gets the free leech against Chen during most of the one-on-one setup in the solo lane. So you should be pretty high up there. Another big fight over a camp, still taken by the red team though. Granit Gaming getting a bit of momentum here, trying to also set up another kill against Marke, which nearly worked out for them. But just barely saving the ass of Reyna here. No fight or flight, sustaining rounds. Okay. Don't see it too often. It's more so a talent that you pick when you don't trust your healer. That's already a bit of a statement against Alexstrasza here. So we're actually not seeing fight or flight. Instead, Marke wants to have a bit more self-sustained for himself. Let's see how exactly that works out. Honestly, I gotta admit, not really a big fan there of the talent. I really think that fight or flight gives you a lot more than that, but we'll see how it's going to work out for him. I mean, again, it is actually a pretty nice talent if you just need some hit points to have to your name. But there's also Tyrael with the shield out there. First Shrine is active, both of the teams on level 4 talents only, as we're going into the battle for the Arcane Punisher. And here comes Lauber again. Dragon Queen gets already popped early. Nice damage from Gul'dan. Good job, but Skog is now low on HP. And in comes Marke with a kill against Tyrande. They're even looking for Vala, but they're not following that far. They are in a fantastic spot though to claim the first Punisher of the game. Team Cheese, that is. It ain't easy being cheesy. They're going in and they're making their play. So right now we have 1 kill against 1, but we have the Arcane Punisher in the hands of the good old Team Cheese. One of the beauty of having Alexstrasza in the setup is that obviously with the Dragon Queen you have a fantastic tool that you can use during an objective phase to force the issue, dominate the shrine and get additional stacks for yourself. It's something that especially China but also North America have done a lot. Europe still doesn't really rely on Alexstrasza as often on this map as you would think, but we definitely see her a little bit more these days. One of the things that has been especially done in the North American region in the past was trying to combo off Alexstrasza with Tychus on this map. Because you have the same effect that you can gain with the Dragon Queen also with Odin. And as long as you don't activate the two of them at the same time, but one after another, you have an incredible dangerous team to push into, which oftentimes pushes opponents away from the objective and guarantees you one objective after another. Then again, it's also a question of can you win team fights outside of that, and in this case, Tyrael got actually taken and the camp got stolen away. It was a good effort by Team Cheese after they got the Arcane Punisher to now go for the camps, but they actually lose now the second hero in the game, or on their team, and they lose the camp too, which allows the push through the bottom of the map. By now, with Zarya, we obviously have the speed barrier on level 4 with the explosive barrier on level 7. The same build that we've seen previously from Zarya, as they've been playing more so around the Garrosh combo that this time they can't get, but still a great setup for them in this game. Now besides this, we're having the Brewmaster's balance taken. Alexstrasza's Dragon Queen becomes obviously a lot more scary also later on in the game when we have level 16 and the cooldown reduction ready for her. We would still expect that we're going to see the Cleansing Flame to keep the boys in play during the Shrine time, but it's a fairly close game so far in experience. Nobody really rushing away with the lead in experience or anything else. So that's definitely going to play a role here. When we talk Mal'Ganis, the Winged Guard on level 1, the Might of Sagaras, and the Black Claws now taken as well. It's all about doing damage here, it's about self-sustainability, just trying to survive here as much as you can, gaining the armor, and also having obviously the life leech, which we oftentimes see them spec into later as well. Again, Hot Pursuit into a multi-shot build. You're obviously trying to get Arsenal through as well, so that you have additional wave clear on the Shrine. Helps you to poke against opponents' heroes, and in the process also claiming a few additional stacks. But it's that Alexstrasza factor that's really the biggest advantage for Team Cheese when it comes to the Shrine fights. And there's level 10, Cleansing Flame, but it's also time for Storm, Earth and Fire. And that's the one that Granit Gaming shouldn't be worried about. Tai, what is he gonna do? Normally strafe for him, but when he feels he needs extra protection and extra layer through the stun, then he goes for the Rain of Vengeance. And against Chen, that is definitely the case here. Outside of that, we're now also having the Graviton Surge here. And that's actually an interesting one. So Graviton Surge, that could be capitalized on by, I mean, plenty of heroes to be honest. First of all, we could see a fantastic Rain of Vengeance, stunning out multiple targets, but also you can really just drop the Entomb even before that. So there's a lot that you can do with that. Usually it's the Expulsion Zone that we're getting on this level from Zarya, so not really all that common to see this setup. Leo is already moving towards the top as we are on level 10 for both of the teams, and we're talking about the next Punisher right now. And teams are getting ready. Question is always, when does Alexstrasza pop the Dragon Queen here? When are we going to see this happening? For now, also damned by Tai to jump in, keep that Storm, Earth and Fire, and find the Triple Panda from Max Payne is going to do a lot of work here against the backline. He's already starting to get aggressive against Zarya. Speed barrier is in though. We have 15 stacks against 8, which is fantastic for Team Cheese. Dragon Queen could be activated right now, and it's exactly what they do. Usually you try to get 20 stacks first, then you go for the Dragon Queen, and normally with a duration that allows you to get the Punisher for sure, as you can already tell here. Red team knows this obviously as well, so they're not even bothering any longer, and they're just accepting that they're going to lose this one. So with this, we have now a Frozen Punisher pushing through the top lane. The first one was easily defended. This one is going to get baited over the wall too, so that it's easier defense, a bit more protected. Give the Punisher vision. His jump is an ability, and as long as he doesn't have vision of a hero, he can't jump. So you're behind the gate, you get vision on the Punisher by attacking him, and then you go for the move here. And talking moves, Gul'dan gets actually nearly killed, but the Cleansing Flame keeps him alive. Like, what the hell? Survives for ages, but dies then in the end regardless. Punisher still in, now Tyrande has fallen. The Storm, Earth and Fire play from the Panda as they are attempting to go for Lauber, but he's still able to move out with the Nightcore. Or is he? Chen comes in, Backhold is there as well. Lauber survives, and they are able to move out. But oh boy, that looked for just a moment like we could see a lot more heroes fall on Granit's Gaming side. As it stands, the wall has fallen. The fort is still alive though, it's still in play. And it was a kill for a kill. What a beautiful series. Wind and Rain, aka Team Cheese, they have done such a great job in just growing as a team and now all of a sudden being in a spot where they just murder opponents. They have improved so much over the last couple of weeks alone that it's honestly just an absolute pleasure to see them perform here. They dropped Washed Up in the first round of the tournament, and now they are pushing Granit Gaming really to the brink of defeat. I mean, Granit is fighting for every single centimeter on the map right now. And it's insane. It's absolutely insane how well both of these teams are playing this. Obviously, a couple of mistakes every now and then that teams are trying to capitalize on, but just generally speaking, the aggression that we have from both of them is fantastic. The kill count in the last map in particular was incredible. Now we have the camp still taken by Granit Gaming as it's being fought over. Nice setup against Gul'dan. Oh my god, the sanctification is a work of art. But Gul'dan still falls as Zarya chips in with her own ult and gets that connected with Gul'dan, who finally falls. Not even the Cleansing Flame can change that. Pacify now from Alexstrasza. In addition to that, having on level 13 enough to share. And instead of giddy up, the rallying cry for, well, for Reyna, who is eating a lot of damage from Tai here as the two auto attackers face off against each other. 2 kills against 4. We still have a slightly inexperience for Granit Gaming. And what a game again. Every single one of these maps was a pleasure thus far. 30,000 from Vala, 34,000 from Jimmy at this point. Both of them haven't died yet. The only hero that has died on the side of Granit Gaming is Tyrande. Attack the support. That's especially what Chen is going to do every single game. We've seen it in the previous fight as he jumped in with the attack against her. One of the squishies. That is the easiest target for him, obviously. And let's see. We have now Shrine at the bottom of the map. Should be a Mortar Punisher. Yep. And who's going to take it? No talent advantage for either one of the teams. But both of them are going to try and set their Shaman camp topside in an advantageous position, so they might get some damage in against the fort. There's another camp to be taken at the bottom of the map, and they're closing in on level 15, so at least they get that. The question is, can they somehow play around the Dragon Queen? Because Alexstrasza is going to have Dragon Queen and Cleansing Flame both up again, and that's a problem. That's one of the main reasons why both of the Punishers so far went to Team Cheese. Granit Gaming is eager to get one as well, and now they are starting to go straight in again. They obviously would love to get level 16 during this fight too. That's a bit unlikely. Storm Earth and Fire already being used, and the prime target is once again Henning, who pops his ult immediately. In comes Zarya. Cleansing Flame has already been used too, and they're just burning this down. Team Cheese with the dominant position on the shrine once again. Zarya trying to move in from the side. Gul'dan in the back line. Lauba zoning them out completely. I mean, oh my god. Dragon Queen gets finally used there too. 23 against 15 points, but the position on the shrine belongs to Granit Gaming for now. But the Dragon Queen is out, and that's the question. How do you play around that? In comes Team Cheese as they're fighting for the next one. Horrify being used, but it just moves them out. Dragon Queen over, 31 against 25. Team Cheese might lose this one. Granit Gaming is still active. Here comes the Sanctification, though. They're pushing forward again. Fat Illidan is jumping in, and Fury is already down, and they take it once more. The third Punisher, 3 in a row now taken by Team Cheese. Granit Gaming, pretty much a 16, but it just came a bit too late to play a factor in the last fight. So Illidan is already, Chen is already in the middle, doing his thing. The rest of the team is pushing the bot lane, and this fort shouldn't make it. But Leo's gonna come back, and he has Entomb ready. Leo is back to business. They go for Gul'dan, and Skog is gonna die again. That's the 4th death against him, but they want more. They want Alexstrasza. Leo comes in. There's no follow-up though. They have to deal with that Punisher eventually. Already the fort has been eliminated. 16 versus 16 now. We're seeing the Draconic Discipline now. And in addition to that, Ruinous Affliction. Frost Shot also has been claimed from Vala. The damage from Gul'dan, 34,000. He died 4 times. I mean, he is the priority target at this point for Granit Gaming. Was also a little bit far out in the last fight. Reyna on 50,000. So I gotta say, Macke is really doing a fantastic job with this. Vala herself on 40,000 damage. It's actually amazing to me that Reyna is outperforming Vala not only on the hero damage, but also on... Oh, sorry, for a second I was thinking he had more siege damage, and I thought that was crazy. And then I realized that I actually dropped into the wrong column here. So yeah, Tai with the multi-shot build has more siege damage. I would have been a little bit shocked if Reyna turned out to have more siege damage in addition to the hero damage than Vala. That would have been absolute insanity. So yeah, not quite the case. So Vala definitely adding a little bit more to the wave play here on the shrine. But now we have the bot lane defended, and well, Max Payne needs to be jumping out of this one quickly. Well, he's going to be in a lot of pain here. Second stun doesn't connect, and he has to use his ult at least. But they're trying to turn it around. Oh, that might be a problem. Ult being used. There's the Entomb. They really want the Panda. They really want him. But they can't get him. It's just too much. And here's the rotation from the rest of the team in blue. And they're starting to force that again, but oh boy. I mean, right now, the HeroesHype again, just a second too late. That was a cool move by Gul'dan, to be honest. And if Ty wouldn't have used the vault there to get away, it would have actually pushed him into the team and guaranteed the kill. So, clutch play by Ty as he moves Vala out of harm's way as the HeroesHype gets dropped. But that could have been a nice move there. The cooldowns should be ready by the time that the next shrine becomes an issue, so it doesn't really matter too much that the teams basically just blew everything that they had onto that little skirmish. But we have now 5 kills against 3. Not quite as kill heavy as game number 2, but definitely about as close. I mean, we pretty much see them with the same amount of experience here. There's a tiny advantage for Granit Gaming, but nothing to write home about. The next shrine is going to stay topside, and we have seen 2 forts destroyed, 1 on each side. 2 forts down. So, paint him red, obviously, for Reyna, so that's going to help his survivability as well. And top side, having, again, Chen starting to move in, but everybody is just hopping around there. And there's a big push at the bottom of the map. There's a chance for Granit Gaming to push this out a little bit harder. Shrine gets activated in another 30 seconds. Ults are all going to be back up for that. And Tyrael is the one who has to move down to the bottom of the map to deal with this. Wants to soak the experience, of course, as well. They're already half a level behind. They can't have that. They can't fall farther behind. They can't allow that level 20 to be taken here. And especially with the Cam now attack too, there is a chance that Granit Gaming is getting 20 during the Shrine fight. It depends a little bit on how quickly Team Cheese is able to push for the Punisher. But a level 20 advantage with that lead that they have, that would be the dream. And this is actually why we're seeing Ty now headed into the mid lane instead. And just trying to make sure that the team gets the Storm talent. Yeah, gets 1 hit in, gets a little bit of experience. We have still Fury at the bot lane, also getting a little bit more. But it's not working. The time, it's just not enough time. They're already down 20 stacks and they just give this up. They're just saying, screw it, give it up. Let's backdoor the wave here, proxy it and go for the fort. They're going to lose the Punisher. They know it too, but at least they're going to have level 20 for the defense. And that's all that they need for now. Not sure why you would use the Dragon Queen here on the other hand. That I'm not so certain. Gul'dan dropping that to maybe secure it, but that would have been something he could have used later on as well. So I'm not 100% certain what happened there. But yeah, level 20 is definitely going to be a thing. So now we're having the fort pretty much insta taken down, but with level 20 talents you can already tell that Team Cheese is saying, okay, let's get the hell out of here, boys. We are not going to take that fight. Let's just let them take down the Punisher. It doesn't matter. We got this one. We don't have Dragon Queen now either. So let's just move in. Let's make sure that we're getting the fort. Even that might even be safe. But yeah, they don't want to fight against level 20 talents, obviously. So the fort is still in play. Not that it would have played too much of a role if they could have taken it down. It's really going to be the level 25 that they're interested in. And they're just completely backing off from this one. So the idea of Granit Gaming to go for the 20 wasn't a bad one at all. They get 20 and they know that Team Cheese isn't interested fighting against these talents. So, with that said, total passive play now from Team Cheese. The worst thing that they could do is engage in a battle. It's the worst thing that they could really do. So they're just sitting tight, they're just saying, okay, wait it out a little bit. There's nothing on the map right now, nothing really to be gained. There's one camp that they can take and that's about it. Just soak the experience. As long as we don't have vision, play it safe. That's why Max Payne is staying so far back here at the fort, because they don't know where these heroes are. They obviously expect them to go for the camp here, but they could also be lying in wait somewhere here at the top and trying for an opportunity to take Chen down. So they're just waiting for the 20. And then it's going to be ready. Alright, so let's have a look at that. With this, we're having them moved up to the top lane. 20 is soon going to be ready for the blue team. Backhul is still riding in style on the money pick. And Storm Talents aren't there yet. They get the scout. They want to hold on to the fort here. Don't want to lose out on that. Yeah, but 20 is there. They got it. Alright, and Ruby Wings probably going to be taken by Alexstrasza unless she deviates away. Takes it. Holy Arena. Haunt. And also for Jimmy. We have now the weak spot acquired. And here comes the attack. There's the Buried Alive as they're trying to go for the play, but they can't get the kill in. And now they're rushing away. On Ruby Wings already being used. There's the Horrify, and this one connects with Shamkola beautifully. That's a dead Zarya for sure. The rest of the team fight, that's a different question. Zarya falls, Alexstrasza and the Keeps provide the kill. And now it's the aggression right here at the mid lane as they're attempting to hunt them down. 51,000 damage from Vala, 62k on the side of Reyna, and now there's momentum for Team Cheese as they just took Zarya apart. 5 versus 4 this late in the game. With level 20 talents available, yeah, you don't want to take that battle. So they're just poking. They're just poking and eating the damage with Max Payne at the front on the Panda, who's also sitting at the damage output of 28,000 right now. And they're trying to get the forts destroyed. One fort about to fall. Yeah, Vala with an attempt to really lock this down, but she can't connect the Rain of Vengeance. Now we have another shrine activating. And this one just spawns in time so that Zarya can make a reappearance on the map here. But there we go. That was actually one of the best Horrifies that we had. It was probably the best Horrify that Gul'dan dropped in the game, the one against Zarya that pushed her into the keep. So that was actually a really cool move by him. It allows him to take the fort in the middle, but it's still going to be a more or less even shrine because Zarya is now back. And the ults are all going to be back too. Well, another 20 seconds for Chen, so he's actually the one that has to play it a bit more careful since he can't go into the Storm Earth and Fire here. He actually went into the Purifying Brew on level 20 now as well, so gets the unstoppable frames. And here comes the action. Top lane camp is pushing. That that fort is definitely going to fall. Might get more than that. Buried Alive against 2. Nicely done. And the kill against Gul'dan. Leo dies as well, but can they get more? That's the question. It's a good trade. Leo against Gul'dan, you take that trade any day of the week. Here comes the Dragon Queen on the other hand, as we're having the triple panda going for Tai. Vala still in play. Vala on the run. The panda's low, but still surviving for a little bit longer. Lauba also surviving here, and the panda's back to business. No triple panda any longer, but they don't have a fountain here. There is no fountain anywhere, and Tai is nearly dead. If Max Payne jumps on him, that might be the end of it, but Henning is trying to keep them alive. He gets one heal in after another. Tai with one shot fired after the next, but Tyrande is down. Lauba is about to fall, so is Zarya. Both of them are low, and there comes the kill as Macke mercilessly just mows them down. Tyrande and Zarya both eliminated, and that now leaves them with a 4 versus 3 on the map as Leo just came back. Fort at the top lane has been eliminated. Lauba is now trying to take down the camp before it destroys the keep as well, but it's the bot lane that they need to worry about, because with 7 kills against 6, Team Cheese has now guaranteed themselves another Punisher. That's the 4th, the 5th, I think it's the 5th in a row now. And with that, they now have another Arcane Punisher at the bottom of the map, and they can go straight for the keep and maybe even for the core, and that's obviously what they're going to try and do. Attempt to take the core down. The keep topside has already taken a lot of damage, but this is the time to shine. And Granit Gaming is still ahead in experience. They're still ahead in XP, but what does that matter if you can't hold on to your structures and you don't win any objective whatsoever? The push is coming. 84,000 now by Jimmy, 80,000 by Vala. Having the Farfly Quiver definitely helped Tai to get a lot more damage connected the entire time here. But here comes the attack, and I mean, that keep is just nothing. Here comes, on the other hand, the Buried Alive. Can they get the kill? He jumps out. Totally not impressed. Ult also being thrown out on the side of Mal'Ganis. But we have it on Ruby Wings. Alexstrasza taking to the skies again. Lands with the Dragon Queen. Horrify, and the kill against Mal'Ganis. Fury also cornered and taken down. And with 2 dead, the Punisher on 80%. They're going for the core at this point, and this is looking difficult for Granit Gaming to defend, if not impossible. They go for the core. They're about to take the core. Granit Gaming loses game number 3 in the best of 5 here at the winner bracket final. GG and well played. Battlefield of Eternity. It could be the last map in the series here. It's a fantastic match. The winner bracket final here is awesome. Team Cheese has the lead against Granit, which is crazy in and of itself if you think about it. I mean, we're looking at a team that has been mid-tier at best during the Division S phase during the Division S season in Europe, and then they really stepped it up just towards the end of Division S. They did a great job in the playoffs, but they were still taken down barely by Washed Up and others. Now, on the other hand, a few weeks later, as we're looking at the HeroesHype Premier Series playoffs, all of a sudden, they're just stepping it up massively. They take down Washed Up in the first round of the tournament. Now they're in the lead against Granit Gaming. Doesn't mean they're going to win this series, but hell, they're making it fun to watch. And they could be the team that today moves on to the grand final. Zeratul gets banned again. Nobody wants to deal with Tai. And Chen gets banned as well, since this time, obviously, we have the first pick, first ban on the side of Granit Gaming. And they don't hesitate. Lauba immediately, boom, gets Garrosh. They banned also Tyrael out as they did previously against Berghold. But we still have an option to go into... it's a little bit more difficult to play Tracer now with this, because Malfurion is banned out and Tyrael is banned out. Those two synergize extremely well with Tracer. So an early Li Ming pick is what we normally see from Macke in these setups. And I would not be surprised to see that happen again. But they switch it up completely. The name of the game is not only to pick good heroes for them, apparently, but also they're trying to pick them away from their opponent. Vala is a staple for Tai, and Macke just picked it away, and they picked Berghold's, they picked ETC away now too, which is of course a heroes that they always play. Zarya plus Tyrande. What does that mean? Speed barrier with Garrosh. It's something that Granit Gaming does all the time, and they do it here again. Ooh, guys, I'm hyped. I like what Team Cheese is trying to do here. I really like the idea. Pick good heroes for yourself, but also pick heroes that your opponent is prioritizing the entire time to push them out of their comfort zone a little bit. And now with that setup, they don't want to go up against Cassia. They're saying, okay, what does that really synergize with? What do we not want to face here? And they ban out Cassia. There's still a chance that we're going to get Hammer time, of course. It's more sort of a washed up special these days, but you still see Hammer from other teams as well. Now that we have the bans coming in, what are you banning out if you are Granit Gaming? Are you still playing around the supports and trying to limit another one here? Or are they going for more damage? And that's what they ban, yes. So ETC, no matter what he's comboed off with those stuns, won't be able to rely on the damage coming afterwards from Jaina. So that's going to be a thing. But, yep. Now we head into the next double pick here. And keep in mind that Granit Gaming has actually played a lot with Tracer as well. So Tai could play Tracer. That limits his options a lot on the damage against the Immortal. For that, Greymane would be better. But Tai is fantastic on Tracer as well. And oh my god, okay. Double support. The holy cow as an option. And we have now Oriel together with Vala. A double support Vala setup with ETC. This is old school. Is it 2016 or what's going on here? 2016, 2017 is when we saw a lot of this. And for me, the question is Greymane or Tracer. That's honestly the big one. What is Tai gonna play? I would say it's one of the two, but hey, we might go the completely different path. And it's Li Ming. Tai goes for Li Ming. They have Urel now. The GOAT is in. The greatest of all time. Good old Urel is in play. And we have a last pick. Team Cheese, they could make it happen. They could get the 3-1 now against Granit Gaming and send Granit packing in, send them into the lower bracket, into the losers bracket here. What a series. And what is Team Cheese now going to pull off as the last pick? It is Johanna! It's all on Macke right now with the damage. Ladies and gentlemen, Battlefield of Eternity, game number 4 in the winner bracket final at the HeroesHype Premier Series. The game is on. We have Team Cheese against Granit Gaming on the potential last map of this. Galgulnar on Oriel for Team Cheese, Macke on Vala, Berghold on Johanna, Skog on Uther, and Max Payne on ETC for the offlane. On the right side though, Granit Gaming determined to push this into map number 5. And we're having Svamgrotta played by Zarya, Henning on Tyrande, Fury on the Space Goat. We're seeing Tai on Li Ming and Lauba on Garrosh. Feel the heat once again, and it is going to be a fun one. The double support setup that we are seeing right now against the triple frontline from Granit Gaming. Time to shine, baby! I want to see some action. If this game is anywhere near as good as the last 3, then I'm a happy panda, but I still want for 5 mapper, to be honest with you. I don't want the series to stop. I actually think we should start a petition to make this a best of 7 instead. I would absolutely be on board with that decision. Either way, they're trying to go for market, but a nice move from Gulnar on Oriel, immediately pushing Garrosh back. And Garrosh, he likes to be whipped. And Oriel is happy to oblige here. Lauber already had a little bit of a fetish when it came to that, and when he plays Garrosh, that is just only going to be emphasized. Garrosh likes the pain, he loves it, and Gulnar now on his Oriel is just sitting there, and he's just playing female Indiana Jones right now, whipping the opponents into the walls and trying to get the stuns out. Jokes aside, obviously, Gulnar with those plays can really control Garrosh's movement quite nicely, at least up to the point where Indomitable becomes a factor as well and can be played around. So we have the move down to the bottom of the map. Skog on Uther with a double stun after Benediction is also going to be a bit of a factor. And there's the zone out Berkult with Condemn. They're starting to move in. When Uther, yeah, early game against double support is always a nuisance, but here it comes. Fury is starting to jump in. Max Payne is there too. They're moving out. Nice slide from the back. And nearly a kill against Lauber, but it might actually be a kill against Fury. He's trying to go for Macke though. And the kill against the damage dealer, and that's usually the beginning of the end. If you don't have the damage anymore, then you have nothing left, and they lose Johanna as well. Great play there. Really well done. Yeah, that was always the problem when you were playing double support with a single damage dealer. If that damage dealer falls, then you are... Well, the shit is just hitting the fan once that you don't have any damage any longer, because your threat level against your opponent is pretty much non-existent. So Macke is already back, but he will be the focus in most of these fights. And it's honestly going to come down to the question whether we are going to see, let's say, Aegis and also Divine Shield on the side of Team Cheese. I would at least expect Aegis. Divine Shield probably too, depends a little bit on what ETC goes for, because we could see the Holy Cow here as well. Divine Shield on an ETC mosh pit is definitely an option that they can pull at this point. So, yeah, we've seen in the past when there was a double support with Uther, sometimes instead the stun with the Divine Hurricane being taken, but yeah, that's Divine Storm and then later on Hurricane. But I wouldn't really expect it here. The Hand of Freedom against Taken, plus the Charged Blast. We're having obviously an arrow build for Vala, trying to play around the objective here. It's still interesting that we don't see Greymane in this game. I would have expected Greymane to make at least an appearance again on Battlefield of Eternity. Having in addition to that also the repeated offense. Yeah, Oriel. Oriel, our little mistress there. Like, have you been a bad boy? There's a whip for you. Yeah, exactly. Garrosh has been a very bad boy and he gets whipped for his troubles there. Needs to move out and does so with the Indomitable. And in comes again the aggression against Fury as he's trying to zone that out, but they have already more or less taken the halftime show. Macke is winning it on the left side now for the blue team, but we're still having Granit Gaming fighting back as much as they can. And they might get the advantage here, but all of a sudden the Immortal Stun comes through and the follow-up from ETC is there immediately. It's a close call, but who takes it? It is the red team. Granit Gaming somehow claimed the first objective. I mean, it's a sliver of health, though the shields are pretty much non-existent. It's definitely great for them to get this right now. Yeah, the rotation of the top lane, therefore, as the Immortal is going to focus onto that lane first. And the double support so far has not really come into play too much. It's really the later stages where double support after level 10 can also just keep the target alive the entire time. Damage output is obviously a bit better for Granit Gaming, but let's see how they're going to play around this. The problem against double support is always getting kills. It's always making sure that something actually dies. And if they can focus that enough, maybe with a good taunt from Lauber after level 10 and his Warlord's Challenge, that might be the play. They go through the wall, but obviously since the shields were so low, they don't have a chance of taking the fort. So right now, another attempt at a setup. We're having 2 kills against 0 so far. And the problem on after level 4 is the speed barrier for Garrosh. I mean, look at it. He just goes in, looks at Uther, but it is again Oriel that controls him completely. Honestly, Oriel is starting to go straight into the BDSM section here, because at the end of the day, Lauber is obviously just aiming for pain here, but every single time he moves in, Oriel is showing him who's boss and just whips him out of the way. It's a really annoying setup against this play that they're trying. I mean, how many times have we now talked about the speed barrier on Garrosh and how incredibly difficult it is to deal with that because he can just walk into the team? How many times have we seen how effective that is? And Team Cheese picks Oriel and just simply says no. And just throw him away the entire time. Just whip him out there. There's still a lot of damage that we're seeing from them, and I mean, those were nearly kills against Macke and Berghult, so it's not like Granit Gaming is without any chance whatsoever. But it's a lot harder for them to set this particular combo between Zarya and Garrosh now into the game. And you gotta respect that. That's a really nice counterplay to that particular setup. As long as Oriel, of course, is on top of her game. But so far, Gulnar has been playing this nicely. Granit Gaming still able to get that forward. They got the camp at the top, and with the help of that push power, they were able to claim it. So now we're talking again about the next Immortal phase, and we have both of the teams on level 8. Also having still everyone set up for the next objective. Camps are spawning a little bit late, so they can't go for them just yet. But it's a bit of a race that we're seeing between the two. And Marcus, obviously, thanks to the repeating arrow and also the puncturing arrow stacks that he has, now able to get the damage out a little bit quicker. In the early game, it's a little bit difficult for him to really get the entire setup going by himself, as we've seen in the last one. But once he's stacked, that's no problem for Vala whatsoever. Again, the attack here. Oh, this time Gulnar actually missing the whip. Yeah, needs to go and take a couple of lessons from Dr. Jones. Can tell you that much. Indy wouldn't have missed that one. But we still have not a single kill as a result of that. So halftime show is pretty much about to be... well, it has been won already, but the advantage for Team Cheese is increasing. And Macke is the one who's really bringing the damage onto the Immortal. Lauba is trying to shut him down there and is able to do that. But here comes the aggression as Tai is attempting to poke away, with Li Ming has to move out from this one too and doesn't eat the damage from the multi-shot that came out on the other hand. But there we go. Another little setup. There's the damage against Max Payne. They're starting to move in, and all of a sudden they have access to the Immortal, and they might have a chance here. Good job by Fury now. The Space Goat doing some work to keep ETC at bay and not allowing him to get a stun into an Immortal stun setup here. But it's a tough fight about the objective number 2. It's really a tough battle now. And again, just poke flying from all angles here. Tai is still poking away. 13 stacks by now for Vala. Marco obviously capitalizing on this fight. Getting another stack for his level 4. Sitting at 14. 6 away from completing the quest. And the Immortal is slowly whittled down. And it looks like Team Cheese might be able to win this one. That's why Granit Gaming is pushing out right now. They're attempting to push the fight away from the Immortal so it doesn't soak any damage. The double support is keeping Vala lively and healthy here. As we have the stun into the Immortal stun. Another stun from Duranda follows, but Macke is connecting one shot after another. And there's very little needed to get that Immortal for the blue team, and he's able to pull that off. Can they move out though? Yes, they can, and they get the double globe as well. A little bit more damage by Macke as he moves in again. Mana, one of his biggest problems at this point. But level 10 should be ready for Granit Gaming for the defense. And if that's the case, then they're going to be in a decent spot to set the defense up. Because honestly, against level 10 abilities, you don't really want to push with the Immortal. If your opponent pushes past the Immortal and just goes straight for the team fight, you are screwed. So they have to be cautious with this one. Right now, we're having 10 actually quicker for them, thanks to the 2 waves that we're pushing. Alright, I'll take everything back that I just said. With them getting all those waves, they have all of a sudden 10 versus 10, so they can definitely go for the fight. Uther, on the other hand, there's the Aegis. Aegis, and he still dies. Great play by Tai. Immediately using the Wave of Force into the combo, so Uther's already down. They're down to a single support at this point, now that the trade is down. Nearly the quest completed for Vala. She's 1 stack away from getting the 20. And the fort is still there. Look at Granit Gaming, able to hold on to that. Nicely done with this. So at this point we have Strafe, we have the Blessed Shield, and we have the Mosh Pit. Mosh Pit plus Divine Shield. The holy cow can be put into action. Look at that kill count, by the way. 3-0. So, despite the fact that we're having a really nice sustainable setup for Team Cheese, it's the damage that they're currently looking at where it starts to become a bit more dicey. And once Vala completes her level 4, obviously it's going to be a bit easier for her. She has the top damage in the game, but it's still a bit tricky for them to get those kills in. And we still have Granit Gaming with a fair amount of kills on their end. And they are starting to make these 5-man rotations onto the lanes for easy damage against structures, and they get this one out too. They go into Backhull, get some easy damage in. Interrupts are obviously going to become very important here for Granit Gaming too. And there's the quest completed. Not only one, but two. First of all, we have the Echo Panel completed, and in addition to that, we are also now seeing the stacks for Marcus level 4 done. And that's the big one. I mean, right now we're talking about the extra bounce, and that is going to be nice damage on the Immortal, but also in every single teamfight that we're seeing from here on out. A little bit dangerous to go up against ETC here. Max Payne with the ult, and it gets the move. ETC gets shielded with a Divine Shield. Blessed Shield comes out too. So many shields here, but they still can't take the bloody camp, and the Aegis is not going to save ETC. Or is it? Might just be able to. Fury is low, and Fury is down. Fury gets wrecked. What a setup. The interrupt attempt was immediate by Tyrande, but ETC is able to get the mosh pit duration through thanks to Uther, and they get the kill against Urel, just as the Immortal is on the map. Team Cheese, they want the 3-1 win. They want the 3-1 victory in this series now, and they might be able to pull that off. Again, the move for Lauber. Lauber gets pushed into the wall. There's the Zarya ult, but Garrosh, he gets the shield and he gets away. Or does he? Yeah, he does. He actually gets out of this. Oh my god, I wouldn't have bet a penny on Lauber to survive here, but he's able to pull it off. And in the meantime, Marcus is just straight on the objective again, and now you can actually see how quickly he can raise that down thanks to his completed arrow build. But he's a bit isolated from the team. He's still able to vault out though, which was the important part. 5 against 5. Good damage. There's actually still the attempt to lock down Johanna. So far that didn't work out. And now the question is, how does Granit Gaming approach this? It's difficult for them, seriously, but that's a good isolation setup against Backhull. I highly doubt that they can get the kill though. Oriel doing work, and obviously Vala is a fantastic battery for Oriel. Big wave at the top lane then again, so if the fight is drawn out, that wave might do some damage against the wall at the keep itself. But can they win the fight? They're trying again. Lauber once more pushed into a corner by Oriel. There's the setup. The defense is so far strong. There's the taunt and the attempt to go straight in against Johanna. But the Aegis is there. Strafe being used to zone them out. And they make the play for the Immortal again. And guys, that would be 100% shielded Immortal. And it feels like that's exactly what's going to happen here. The Immortal is down. Max Payne might fall. They need a kill. They need a kill. They need it now. And they are not getting it, are they? No, they're not. 100% shields on the Immortal. And that is a nightmare for Granit Gaming. They have trouble getting kills at this point, and it's a very, very kill-poor game. I mean, we only have 4 so far, but that's to be expected with a double support. But this aggression that comes now through the bottom of the map, that is going to be a problem, and a big one. So right now, we're having immediately the push past the Immortal. They know they're going to lose the 4. There's just now nothing else that they can do. ETC isn't there yet, so they're trying to get the fight, and they get the kill before ETC is there. Here comes maybe a mosh pit. No, Warlord's challenge is already out. They're trying to set the taunt up for another kill. They go for Uther, and he saves his own ass with the Divine Shield. Gets the Divine Shield through. Yes, the fort is down, and now they're trying to burn the Immortal. Obviously, they have to. They don't want to lose a keep here, and that is definitely something that could be happening here. Even with only 4 heroes, Team Cheese is totally willing to fight this one. Mosh pit! Oh my god! Gets a mosh pit against 4 heroes, but dies to the keep. They get the kill against Zarya, though. Unbelievable. ETC with a fantastic mosh at this point, but they only get 1 kill, and the Immortal is still in play. Is going for the fountain, and the keep is the next target. They should still be able, though, to save it here. Ooh, but still, 5 kills against 2, and they lost an Immortal, and they nearly lost their keep. Granit Gaming is on notice. They can't just simply give up an objective like this. They were on the defensive the entire time, and they just didn't have a chance there. Now another camp gets taken. Granit has the lead in experience. But damn, this is really starting to become difficult for Granit. They might lose this. Team Cheese has a strong setup. They have a very powerful setup here. And as they gain additional talents, it's only going to get stronger, obviously. I'm a bit curious to see what Market takes on level 16. If it's going to be the Seething Hatred, which obviously would increase the damage output from this particular build even more. The newly changed talent in the last patch, or if instead we're going to see him with Frost Shot for more teamfight control, or even Manticore against Garrosh and other heroes like Urel and Zarya. There's definitely options for him, but Seething Hatred, especially with the double support, is definitely something that could be played here. Top fort goes down, but so does the one at the bottom of the map. It seems like they're racing this one a little bit, and oh, this is gonna become interesting. Yeah, okay, they're moving back for now. That's a weird space to try in Hearthstone. I'm not quite sure what Ty was thinking there. That was obvious that he would be interrupted, and everybody's just backing off now. Nobody wants this fight right now. 16 is something that especially Granit Gaming wants, ideally a little bit quicker than Team Cheese, so that they can use the advantage to at least win the halftime show. Question still is, can they pull that off? Because that window is so small, they shouldn't be able to capitalize on that. They might, but it shouldn't really be possible. So now we're having again 74,000 damage by Vala. Calm down. And 56 over here. And they're battling for the halftime show. 16 talents are ready. And it's time to shine. Who's going to take this for now? Ah, well, the gold is still all the way up at the top, so it should actually be a bit of a lead for the blue team. But it's actually a slight victory for the team in red. Okay, they take the halftime show. They have 16. That gives us Mirror Ball. That also gives us now the Gain Train. And here comes Vala, Manticore. Manticore for her, and they're just racing. They're just racing. They're going for the race, and actually it looks good for Granit Gaming right now. They have better damage, and they're putting that immediately also to the test here and saying, well, if you are willing to race us, we're going to take you. Benediction, on the other hand, is now in too, and we're having the Will of Heaven, so the attack speed advantage for Vala is now also in, and they're just hunting them right now. Swamp Grotta isolated, Blessed Shield, and here comes the Divine Mosh again, but only hitting one target, not as successful as they would like, and they actually might just have overstepped a little bit. Vala still has the strafe ready and could use it, but the interrupts are obviously there. It's a 5 versus 5 still, and Team Cheese has lost a lot of the tools that they need in these fights. There's the focus against Johanna. Can they get the kill? No, the egg is safe from Oriel, but the fountain has just been connected, and now they can make the play for the Immortal. This is a great setup for Granit. All of a sudden, they're in a good spot. But the isolation against Lauber, and Garrosh nearly falls, is kept alive. Strafe is getting used here, and they're still fighting on all fronts. But Uther is at this point obviously still helping out with all of this. The entire time just dropping one heal after another. It's not only Oriel that can keep the heroes alive. He's a big factor here. Divine Shield or no Divine Shield. But ults are starting to slowly come back now too. Blessed Shield is ready once again. And at the bottom of the map, the keep is starting to take damage, and that's a problem. But the kill attempt against Lauber again! Oh, the taunt! No way! ETC survive. No, he doesn't. He goes down, but so does Zarya. Double support is just insanity. And down to the bottom of the map, this keep might actually survive, but barely. Comes down to the minion wave. How quickly can they take the catapult down? The keep is still in play. It barely is, but it's still there. The catapult got taken down. And now with this catapult, the push out is going to happen. What a setup. Zarya and ETC both dead. And here comes now the defensive position from Granit Gaming. Ty is coming back now too. It's starting to become close, but Ty wants to go for the damage. Gets the combo through. Couple of auto attacks coming in as well. Down at the bottom of the map, they're just trying to control Vala so that Macke can come onto it. And they win it. They take the Immortal. Uh-oh, Fury. The Blessed Shield came out and locked him into place for a second, but they couldn't get the kill. The goal has to obviously to push out the bot lane, especially. I mean, look at that keep. It has so few hit points left. But now they're moving through the bottom of the map, and that's the chance to maybe take the keep on the other side, and that there would be constant pressure against them. It's 19 minutes into the game. Immortals this late, even with so few shields, do hurt. They do a lot of damage. And there's the expulsion zone, and it's a fantastic one, but they can't get the hold on anyone. They're trying to grab a target, and they just can't. Well, actually, now they might. They're going for Uther, and Uther is down. No chance to save him here. Uther annihilated, and that might just be what they needed. Guys, are they able to go to the core with this? Are we seeing game 5 in this series? Is that happening? The keep is down. There is no question. They're trying to go for Vala. Ah, but Marcus survives. The mosh pit again against 4 heroes. And they are going to get Tiarosh and Duranda. 2 down. Marcus saved by the Aegis for just a second. But he dies too. And now the core is already under pressure. The Immortal is starting to get the damage in. Tai, what are they going to try? Are they going to try and race it here? Tai survives. Does he get the bubble? The core is down to 54% and ETC dies too. What's going on here? 49. They're trying to go for the core. They might just be able to pull it off, but it's insanely close. I don't think they can. I don't think they can. It's 36%, but they don't have the damage output now. What an amazing series. This best of 5 is incredible. Even more damage now at the top lane with 36%. The only question, of course, that remains is, are they going to backdoor at some point? Are they actually going to backdoor? What a setup. Ooh, level 20. Any second now. Any second now. And there it is. Level 20 is in. Seraphim already taken. We have the Ice Blade arrows, Tal Rushers, and the Unyielding Defender. Deep breaths, everybody. This series is getting bananas. Yeah, it's getting tricky. 6 against 19. 6 against 9. The kills. But 20 versus 20 as the next Immortal is spawning. They need to deal with the bottom camp, and that's what they're trying to do. Tai is trying to set this down. Lauba is coming in to help him too. Especially, of course, trying to take that particular catapult down. And they can always go for a backdoor. With 36%, there is a realistic chance that you can pull that off. Not easy. Not against ETC and the Mosh Pit, plus the Blessed Shield and Johanna. Not easy. But in a pinch, you could make that decision. Not saying that's a fantastic one, but you might be forced into it. So they're trying to get a setup here. They're trying to catch someone. Oh, no, no, what? No! Divine Shield immediately being used. What a catch there. What a catch. Immediately the Divine Shield being used, and that's obviously a big cooldown that is now missing. And the bot lane is pushing, and keep in mind, we're 23 minutes into this game. If the catapult at the bot lane at any point reaches the core, it's game. Catapults could win this. This is Winian territory. Maka under pressure. They can't overstep though. The Mosh Pit is a huge threat, and so is the Blessed Shield. The entire setup is absolutely frightening that we're having for Team Cheese. And Team Cheese, they want that 3-1. They don't want to go to game number 5. Why would they? They want to end it all right here. Top lane is pressuring. That's a big push coming. And at the bottom of the map, it's already 2 catapults that are starting to push through this. 127,000 damage from Bala. And on the other side, we are seeing Zarya with 91,000. Li Ming with 89,000. ETC is defending. ETC takes the 2 apart here. And Zarya, what is Zarya doing? Zarya is starting to sneak over. Zarya is starting to sneak to the core, guys. This is starting to get tricky. Top lane is pressuring too. Attacks everywhere. Here comes Li Ming. Do they know what's happening? There's the interrupts. They're trying to buy some time. They can die. It doesn't matter. They just need to buy time. That's exactly what they're doing. And they're trying to go for the core immediately. Already we're seeing Zarya trying to burn it down as quickly as they can. Garrosh is already falling on the right side of the map as everybody's just getting stopped from moving back here. Top lane is getting pushed. Keep is nearly down. And the core is starting to lose hit points. Core is starting to lose hit points. It's down to 20. Down to 10. And that has to be it. Mosh Pit, Zarya is dead, but the kill, and we are gonna see game number 5. Tai makes it happen. We are going the full distance in the winner bracket final. Game 5. We are in game 5. We're going the full distance today, boys. Team Cheese against Granit Gaming. I didn't expect to be in game 5. I was hoping for it the entire time, but I didn't really think it would happen. I honestly didn't. So right now we have a fantastic setup here. We had amazing games. Usually when you're looking at a best of 5 like this, there's a couple of maps that really stand out and a few that are just like, they're okay. But every single map I feel here has been a highlight. We have back and forth the entire time. It is a beautiful series. Now we're having Zeratul banned again. I mean, is it a surprise? Nobody wants to deal with Tai on that hero. Chen gets banned too, because we are having, in this case, first pick, first ban from Team Cheese. And every single time that happened, Granit Gaming banned out Chen. With one exception, and guess who won that game? So now we're having Abatha also banned out. We're having, on the other side, the question again, do you ban out Tyrael? Has been a constant pick for Team Cheese. Sometimes we've seen the ban against Malfurion, sometimes we've seen the ban against Tracer directly, because this is another map where Maka could go into Tracer. And it's the Malfurion ban again, as we've seen previously. So now on the first pick rotation, Tyrael gets locked in. It's just a style that Team Cheese loves to play, and they are so good playing around these sanctifications from Bergkult and the setup here. Even though I gotta admit, I loved his Garrosh earlier. His Garrosh, I think it was map 2, it was insanity. Insanity. I mean, seriously, I have rarely seen a Garrosh performance as good as what Bergkult showed us on Cursed Hollow. Now with the double pick on the other side, traditionally we would see at least Tyrande getting picked, but they deviate away from this. They want to get the camps here together with Rhaegar. So they have the lightning shields on that. No Tyrande this time, but they hold true with the ATC choice at least. So they can go stage dive again with Fury and can drop that, so that's the option for them now. What else are we going to get at this point though? Because now, after Tyrael has been taken, the answer or the question is immediately Tracer, yes or no. Is this a map where we have Genji instead of Tracer? Is Maka going back to that? He did it in the past, but no, there's the global. I said it between games that the Haka could actually be played here, even though in offlane priority has fallen rapidly, but there he is. On Sky Temple, it still makes sense to go for the dinosaur, and we have Greymane. Greymane with the Sanctification. Keep in mind what we talked about on Cursed Hollow. The approach with Tyrael jumping in, Greymane coming in too. Back then it was even with the potential Illidan. So now we are having Greymane in play, Tyrael together with it. The shields are there, Greymane can be aggressive, and there's the Penetrance Tracer regardless. They're just saying, no matter what you're doing here, we are going to shut Tracer down. Ban for Team Cheese on the other hand. What are they going to ban out? I mean, right now the question is simply, do they want to deal again with one of Tai's heroes? Because Tai can still play his Li Ming again that he played in the previous game, just to name one example, but they're more so worried about Garrosh. Garrosh has played a huge role in every single game that we've seen so far where he was picked. Every single time he had a huge impact, and this time he actually gets banned out because in the last game alone, those Warlord challenges we saw were just really too good. So now we have an opportunity for Granit Gaming to make a decision on the damage front. Are they going to go into something along the lines of Vala again? Are we going to see, let's say, Li Ming for Tai? Is that the play? Or something completely different? Jaina Maiev? Jaina Maiev get picked. Okay. Which leaves us with Lauba's hero. There's still a lot that he could play here with too. But yeah. Even Johanna would totally fit here. You could even go into Muradin. He has been always played on this map. We haven't seen him in the series yet. Depends a little bit on how you want to play against Greybane. In theory, you can even put Lauba on ETC and actually pop Arthas into play again. It depends a little bit on what the next hero is for Team Cheese, because they already have Greymane, so keep that in mind. Arthas becomes an option again. They did it previously. Do they do it again? Ho ho ho! Tychus! And Lucio once more. We've seen Lucio previously in this series, and he played so well. Galne Gulnar on Lucio, damn. Nearly makes me a fan of the hero. So, fantastic performance by him previously. Can he pull that off again? That's the big question here. And how does Granit Gaming react? What is their setup right now? What's going to be their pick? It's Johanna. Johanna comes in. The stage is set for the final game in the best of 5, the winner bracket final. Let's jump into Sky Temple. Game on! The final map in the best of 5 series. Team Cheese with Skok on Greymane, Maka on Tychus, Bergkult on Tyrael. We have Galne Gulnar on Lucio and Max Payne on Dehaka. Yeah, and over to Granit Gaming. What do we have here? We have Henning, this time on Rhaegar. Could have gone into the Ronda, decided against it. Svamkrota on Maiev. We have Tai on Jaina, Fury on ETC, and Lauba is playing Johanna. The final map in the winner bracket final. I mean, keep in mind, guys, this isn't even the grand final. The grand final is still to come, but the winner bracket final is such an highlight. It is a pleasure watching these games. And it's intense as hell. Honestly, the players must just be on the edge of their seat at this point. They've pretty much put it down to a best of 1 right now, and we are heading straight into it. Enhanced agility as a level 1 for Dehaka, so we're going to see him full race car style. After the 10% movement speed, he is even quicker on his small feet than previously. But this is going to be... That's going to be awesome. The Tychus pick is an interesting one, because Tychus is oftentimes vulnerable because his auto attack range is pretty low. He has obviously a lot of tools that he can bring to the table, especially Odin is just a fantastic damage tool here for him. They can try and burn heroes down with that, also with the level 4 talent, but I'm honestly really curious to see how Tychus is going to work for them. Greymane, that's a different story. I kind of expected him to be picked here as well. But we also have now on the other side this Maiev setup, which would allow to force fights with the cage, or just simply go also for a disc. Either way, Jaina, when she works together with Svamgrotta here, has a chance of getting quick kills in, and it's going to be this game is going to be insane, I hope. I mean, right now, they fought for hours now to get into this position here, and I want to see who is able to claim victory in the best of 5 to move on to the grand final of the HeroesHype Premier Series. We have so far, actually, Svamgrotta on the camps. Maka sniffed that out already, but he's not the only one rotating towards it. Lauba is there too, and that is actually a 2 versus 2 that I'm not quite sure Maka and his boys can win here. If Svamgrotta is able to, for example, tap the fountain, if Lauba buys enough time, that would be all that they need. And that's exactly where he's headed. Goes for the fountain, starts to jump in again. Still the position being held here, and now Max Payne needs to be careful. The camp is taken, and the problem is that Jaina moved into, and that's the end of the Dinosaur, end of Tychus. Both of them are dead. The rotation came in, they moved away from the top lane, and that's a double kill that opens the game up against Granit Gaming. Nicely done. Nicely done for them. And also, in addition to that, we're now having the level 4 talents, which gives us here the Sins Exposed. We have in addition to that the Healing Totem. Needed for the defense also at the top is obviously the AoE that Jaina brings to the table for the team here. Since that camp is pushing in, they need to try and take that spell aura down. Maiev is still sitting down at the bottom of the map and making her play. And we're having Tychus also appearing now too. And actually, we're seeing in the rhythm taken. Okay, there is no big hero at this point. I mean, again, if you're talking about burning down targets, then obviously we're having a chance to go into the Cursed Bullet here. I was wondering about this a little bit when they picked him. Normally, I'm really not a fan anymore of In the Rhythm as a talent, but in the setup that they're running here, I like it actually a lot. Because if they keep Make in a good position so that he can get the trade damage out, that would be really fantastic for them in the long run. And he's already getting a lot of stacks. Well, he's getting a couple there. Normally you go actually for Drill together with that talent. That's going to be an interesting choice on level 10, because the more you stack your level 4, the more you want to be able to get the full duration through, and that's only possible if you're not going into Odin, and therefore Drill all of a sudden becomes an option for you. So we'll see how they're going to play that out, but there's definitely a chance that we're going to see that particular style. Level 13 then will also going to be interesting. And as I said, normally I'm really not a fan of this setup. But here, there's no Diablo on the other side. There's no hero that really is worth burning down that quickly. And obviously we're also having the blind from Johanna. Talking about also the Iron Skin, obviously. So there's a lot that can be used against that setup. And therefore, I'm much more of a fan that they're trying to make this particular play go for a more sustainable setup. And they get a kill. Tychus is able to get the first kill in. So now we have 26 stacks right now. It's actually not too bad. It's all about the early game, really. The more you get in the early stages and so those team fights, the more you can capitalize with those extra seconds than on the later stages of the game. Max Payne moves away with 150 hit points. Close call for him. But they're still dominating the fight over the temples. I gotta say, Team Cheese, after the double kill against them, it started to look a little bit problematic in the early game for just a moment. And in experience, they're still behind. But when it comes to structures, they're actually looking pretty good here. Top lane gets burned down by Greymane, and the setup of the rest of the team that's moving in. Down at the bottom of the map, Backwood needs to be careful and jumps out as he realizes he doesn't have a chance to hold on to the Siege Giant camp. So this one gets taken, and they're starting to prep that lane. And especially in the days of old, is what's really important to the teams to drop the fountain at the bot lane, because the second objective spawns bot side. And if you still have your fountain, similar to what we are seeing on maps like Volskaya Foundry, and your opponent doesn't, you have a good chance there to win the next objective. Level 10 is always a big issue with that too, and the lead in experience also goes to Granit Gaming. So they have a nice setup there. With this, we have 32 stacks now, still, for the level 4 talent. We're going to keep an eye on Tychus, 100% here. And that might really be the one thing that changes the game. Because, as I said before, I'm normally a huge fan of going into the bigger they are. But the problem is there are no heroes that have that much of a hit point pool. And if you're planning to go into Cursed Bullet anyways, then all of a sudden the value that you get from the bigger they are is already getting diminished. So in that particular case, it makes a lot more sense for you to go for the setup. So definitely one of those niche cases where it's a bit of a different story. Disc taken. And we're having the stage dive. That one was a given. I mean, it is Sky Temple after all, and you're going up against the Haka, so obviously you need to go for this one. So that's what we're seeing here. The rotation against Make, though, is beautiful, and that's a kill. That's a fantastic kill. Didn't even have to use a heroic cooldown there. And now they're going for the boss. With Tychus not available, they're actually looking at the boss. But it gets sniffed out immediately. And that's a problem. There's Sanctification on the other side. Oh, Greyman actually going to go for the throat here. As they're trying to go for the squishies, I assume. But yep, boss is getting attacked. The Haka, is he actually committing to this? Is he burrowing in? And I guess the answer is no. They're dancing around this, and they're just not going for the fight. Tychus is way too far away, and they don't want to take the 5 versus 4, even with Sanctification. A cool move by Granit Gaming. Really cool move by them. They just realized after the kill against Make that they have an opening to go for the boss, and they immediately take it. And now they're going for the temple as well. And that's obviously sealing the fate of the bottom fort. That one is going to be eliminated 100% one way or another. And they might get even more damage onto the mid lane where the objective is going to focus his attention next. Make low again. Sound barrier had to be used. Make a little bit alone. And Make goes down. The Sanctification comes into late. And what's happening with the blue team here? There's the Ancestral, there's a kill, and there's the double kill. Make it a triple in total. And that is starting to become a bit of a disaster for Team Cheese. What was that fight? The Haka gets the value topside, so it's not a complete loss for them, but it's 6 kills against 1 right now. And that came kind of out of nowhere. Positionalism mistakes for sure. The Haka never moving down. ETC didn't have to make the rotation either. And that is now twice that Tychus died in a short period of time, which wasn't really necessary, I think. So 2 forts are down, and the one at the top lane gets attacked too. We don't have enough shots left here to really drop it completely, but it's close. And we're talking about nearly a 2-level lead. Well, make it 1.5, but that's still a pretty significant advantage that we're seeing for Granit Gaming right now. Team Cheese was ahead twice in this series. And now they're all of a sudden behind on the final map. Is Granit Gaming able to make this happen? Is Granit Gaming actually in a position where they can now take the 5th map and move on to the grand final? If that happens, there's a realistic chance that we're seeing washed up against Team Cheese, the rematch, in the lower bracket later. But Make is about to get a kill. They're getting the kill against no one. It's Greyman instead that falls, and the sound barrier is not able to keep Tyrael alive either. He goes for the explosion against the wave, but they are now all of a sudden starting to be in huge trouble here. Massive trouble. 8 kills against 1. Massive lead now. 2-level lead, talent advantage. Granit Gaming has it all. They take the structure advantage as well. And I mean, I sound like a broken record here, but I talked about it so many times in the past. On Sky Temple, you want to take as many structures as you possibly can without the objective, because it means that if you trade evenly into the objective, into temples, you will always end up winning the game eventually. Because these structures, or these objectives, attack structures directly. And right now, it's 2-fort advantage for Granit Gaming. It's a massive lead, honestly. It's a massive lead right now. There is really good attacks that we're seeing from Granit Gaming. They force fantastic fights. They're always driving a wedge into the opponent's hero. And Make, again, doesn't see that ETC. He falls into the trap and goes down. The team has beautiful rotations. The Blessed Shield and Max Payne is max dead. What a great setup. I mean, at one time you could really argue that Team Cheese is making a lot of mistakes here. But then again, if we're honest here, it's also fantastic plays that we're seeing from Granit Gaming. I mean, beautiful rotations that they currently have. They set up a lot of nice traps here. Have to pause the game for just a moment. Sweaty palms on Lauer probably. No, I don't know what it is, but they are just doing such a fantastic job right now in setting these kills up. 10 kills against 1, a 3.5 level lead. What is happening in this last game? Granit Gaming has turned up the heat and they are just firing away from every single angle. You look at the damage output and it really doesn't seem like that much of a difference. 19,000 for MF just show again her power level, but when you're looking over to the blue team, you can still tell that especially on Tychus we have 16,000 too, but he's now died for the 4th time. 4 kills against him, and the only one that hasn't fallen yet is Lulcio. Galnegulna. And they're not happy. They're going now for the vision, trying to cap this over here. The talent advantage is obviously still active. In a second, we're going to see the 2 temples activate. So the one at the top is going to be taken. That should at least help them to take the temple in the mid lane. So this one is going to be eliminated at 100%. ETC alone won't be able to change that. But the problem that they have is that at the bottom of the map now, we have a push with 4 heroes, ETC having the potential with the stage dive to still jump in, plus the siege giant camp. And they cannot try and push in and maybe get that wall here, because if they get the wall, it would pretty much mean that after they take the wall, they can simply retreat, go onto the temple down at the bottom of the map. ETC could also take this, for example, and I think this is exactly where Fury is headed, because he can take the temple and then still jump to the team if need be. But either way, if they actually put some extra damage onto the wall here and ETC takes the temple, it means the first keep of the game is threatened and will likely fall. And with only 3 heroes up and Greymane already making a rotation towards the top to at least get the temple here, there's pretty much no chance of defending the bot lane in the first place. Once that we are having Tychus back, who went into Odin by the way, and also Dehaka, it just means that you are ending up in a scenario where you might be able to hold on to the bot lane, but the temple alone is going to seal the deal and make sure that that keep falls. There is no fort anymore. If there was a fort on any of the outer scenarios, then obviously that would be the first target for the temple. But in this case, that's just not happening. When it comes to the talents, by the way, as we talked about this, we have a full focus on the side of ETC into the face melt, having the mic check now here as well. And he hasn't really played a big part in the game just yet. Jaina is by now also sitting at 11,000 damage, which means that she's starting to come a little bit closer to the ice block, which is going to be a big factor here too. But so far, especially that pick into Tychus just hasn't panned out. And I'm still a little bit surprised that we have seen Maka fall into a couple of traps throughout this entire game. Usually not his style. But this is exactly what I said. He has ETC. He's going to get the channel. They're going to attack the wall even without the objective, trying to eliminate a couple more structures, put a bit of damage onto this, and then they're just going to simply back off. Nobody has taken the top temple yet. Tyrael has moved back, so this is one of the reasons why they didn't commit to anything here yet. But is there any doubt that now this keep is going to fall? Neosteel is taken on level 13. Again, you don't want to go into the so-called synergy with your level 4 talent here, because after Blizzard changed the talent, they pretty much made those 2 useless. There's actually a synergy between the 2 of them. And Neosteel coding is a fantastic talent to be taken. So yeah, that's the stuff. It's just nothing that is really attractive anymore on this. Keep at the bot lane has been taken as expected. ETC has been moved down and is making sure that the rotation wouldn't hit him. With the 16 talents now in their hands, Granit Gaming is absolutely dominating the map at this point. And right now, we're having them in a great position right here. 10 against 1, 16 against 14, make it nearly 17. There's an attempt to take a couple of the structures down by Team Cheese, and with Greymane they can easily do that if they have the access to the lane. Obviously, Dehaka, now that the keep at the bot lane is destroyed, is forced to play it a little bit safer and go more so on the defense than anything else. But this is Granit Gaming's game to lose. It seriously is. Right now, Team Cheese, they need a good setup, they need to win a team fight, and if Granit Gaming plays it smart, they're gonna play around their opponent the entire time. Tough against the setup, definitely true, but can definitely make that play now. And we have the boss up. There's a 3-level advantage. In stats alone, that is crazy. But there's obviously still Odin plus Sanctification on the map. So do they really go for it? Yeah, they go for it. It's sniffed out immediately, but they're going to try and take it. And keep in mind, there's no keep anymore at the bottom of the map. They want to force the fight. They force the fight. Here comes the disc. Already Lucio with the ult. And they go for Mark again. Odin so far not being popped. We have the Dehaka coming in into the back line. They're trying to still get the kill here, but we don't have a Sanctification used yet. They haven't committed to it completely. Quest completed for Jaina. Ice block is available. Can they get the kill against Maiev? Yes, they should be able to. They go for Sramgota and they take him. Odin is also set, maybe a move against ETC, but Fury has the face melt in. Oh, the stage dive gets interrupted and he goes down. Guys, that's the boss. They might come back into this. unless they lose now, Heroes. 3 versus 5, but they're about to take it. The keeper of the top lane has taken damage, and that forced the Haka back. They go for Lauber, and he survives. Now the Haka has saved the keep, barely. There's a big wave pushing in, and obviously we had a camp taken previously too. Can they go for the boss though? They're trying. ETC is back in 20, but they should have the time there. Lauber is trying to slow it down. The Haka is now coming in too. They know they have to do something. 16 against 18. They're still 2 levels behind, but they have the level 16 talent. Guys, they're trying to make a comeback here. If this series deserves one thing, then it's a close game, and Team Cheese is trying to deliver. Marke gets stunned and gets away with 50 HP, but the boss 2 down. Oh, and ETC comes in and drops the Haka. The boss is stolen, and they get wiped. It's a full team wipe. 15 kills against 3, a 3 level advantage. And who gives a shit about temples if you can go straight for the core? The boss has been taken, and it is unbelievable. Granit Gaming somehow is able to turn the best of 5 series around and win it. They move on to the grand final. Team Cheese gets dropped into the lower bracket, and we have a chance to see the rematch between Team Cheese and Washed Up. What a series! Granit Gaming wins the winner bracket final with a 3-2 victory over Team Cheese.